Red Sonja casting, and Indiana Jones 5 is shooting. And the One Ring.net loses its crap on Nerdrotic and other fans. We're going to talk about that and more as Undoomed joins us this morning on Midnight's Edge in the Morning. Welcome, everybody. We've made it once again through another week. It's Friday morning here on Midnight's Edge, or afternoon or evening, whatever it is where you're listening to us, because we know you're from all over the place and we love to hear where you're from as well. But let's not waste any time. Andre, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing good. Thanks for asking. It's another lovely Friday, or rather another lovely Blur's Day, because you can tell the difference anymore.
I just, a little asshole got out last night, and guess who I found sunning on the porch here about 5 minutes ago?
A little gift?
Yeah, a little asshole. He's just chilling there. He's like, what's up?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've only been yelling for you for the last hour,
Yeah.
But
to
with us,
those that may wonder.
What are you talking about, like a cat or something?
Yeah, cat. Yeah, his name is Asshole when he's not good. Which is most of the time. But that voice you hear, of course, is undeniably the one, the only Undoomed. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, other than chasing cats, I'm doing all right. Just glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's great to be here. Talk some good old movie news, get away from all the bullshit.
Well, like that 70s rock fan already says with this super chat, thank you so much. Indiana Jones 5, Indy and the woke template of doom.
What was it you were saying about getting away from all of the bullshit?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, you can never get away.
Yep.
Yeah, like Sean says, Tom yelling asshole at the front. I'm like, Kitty, come on, you want your supper? And he'll just like usually perk right up. He knows that word. I should just call him supper.
That probably might be much more.
People might get the wrong idea then too when I'm yelling for supper and a cat comes around.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll be familiar with Pavlovian responses. So yeah.
But we got a lot of great people in the chat, including Valiant Renegade, who I checked out his recent video on the tax situation. Have you seen that, Andre?
Yes, I did. It was excellent. I have to say that Valiant Renegade produces some really, really good content here. Coming from the world of finance myself, I really appreciate everyone else who also does, who takes the time to explain what's going on with the corporate sales issue, or sales and mergers and tax. And there's been loads of tax talk. And Valiant Renegade, he put out a video just the other day going through a New York Times article, which I thought was very, very good. So go and check out that article, article and then his video.
Well, it was the Paramount deal is what we're talking about for those who don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he did a really great job of kind of breaking it down and taking an angle, at least, that, I hate to say it, he could be right as far as like Paramount's just kind of being mistreated in this situation. They didn't do anything that anybody else hasn't done. They probably, dotted their I's and crossed their T's just like everybody else. But, just so happens that they got caught, I guess, or I wouldn't even say they got caught because
they didn't even got
because we should really even say alleged.
Rather, they were a target for someone that has a bigger game to play and a bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
and they just had the bad luck that it fell on them. As Valiant points out, if you go to any of these huge corporations and you just throw a dart, no matter where it hits, you're going to find something where they use the laws and the loopholes for everything they're worth.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of just funny that...
and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what they're there for. It's just a matter of taking advantage of what you can.
Well, and it's really funny because Paramount was one of the companies that China withdrew from a while ago, like one of the first, where they have not really had any Chinese connections that I know of for the last few years. Also, after the Transformers stuff and what was it, Wanda Group pulled out of Paramount. Yeah, I remember talking about that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that's actually a really funny story. We covered that as it happened because Star Trek Beyond had a lot to do with it, because they lost so much money on it.
Yeah.
That combined with a string of other big losses, many from Paramount, because you got to remember
you had the Monster Truck movie that was made up.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it was that one plus Star Trek Beyond, and I liked Star Trek Beyond. I don't care what you think, I liked it. But,
it was fine. It was fine.
But it flopped at the box office hardcore, and they lost so much money. So the CCP decided, you know what? You all are losing so much of our money on this, so no more. They shut the door on it.
But by the way, have you heard anything about all those sequels that everyone's got listed, like JJ and all those idiots?
The various Star Trek Force. Which incarnation are we on right now?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at them, there's like one untitled Star Trek sequel, and then there's like the Quentin Tarantino one.
They're all dead in the water. None of them are happening.
There's only two possibilities. Well, technically three, but two possibilities right now that have anything to do with JJ going on, and the likelihood of those two getting off the ground are so slim.
Right.
He's been trying to get a Star Trek 4 made forever, and then there's supposedly this Discovery related project that's underway. But at no point do I think they've ever said that one's meant to be theatrical per se, because Andre and I have wondered for a while if it's not going to be either some combination thereof of a finale for Discovery or just like a TV movie of the week kind of thing. Because Paramount's doing this thing on Paramount Plus where they're having like mid-level movies every week drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll show them, I think it's the Paramount Network and some other channel they got every other week. They'll flip flop, so they're going to be dropping 52 movies a year, and they started with that Kevin Costner one, Yellowstone or whatever. So that's where I think a Discovery movie would fall. I highly doubt they would put the money behind a theatrical Discovery movie when we never even got a Voyager movie or a Deep Space Nine movie. Why in the world would Paramount get behind something like that when they know there's no audience for it?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's probably
and they do have
just
the numbers that they know that, especially after they showed Star Trek Discovery on CBS proper, where you have Nielsen ratings, and it came in dead last for the entire
season.
There
was repeats of like knitting programs beating it and shit. Like it was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, really, it came in last. And it came in.
I'm not surprised at all. But
came in after reruns of reality shows, and I use the term lightly because they're all scripted anyway. But it came in.
That is abysmal.
Below repeats of reality shows no one even knew existed.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Like Cake Boss and shit. I don't know. I don't remember which ones they were. They're like, yeah, it was pretty bad because they were getting like less than 100,000 people watching at one point. I think it was at the end. It was pretty abysmal. Like Batwoman's beating it in its ratings, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I'm sure Batwoman has a lot of hate watchers. You just watch it for the
I don't
roles.
Mm-hmm.
Even
think Woman or whatever you call it anymore can barely muster 1 million watchers. I think on its. I don't even think it gets that. I think the last I checked, with Az was watching the ratings, and I think it was like at 500,000-600,000 people watching it or some shit like that. I don't know. It's really bad.
Right.
And there's a significant difference in cost between what it takes to make an episode of Batwoman versus what it takes to make an episode of Star Trek Discovery, which is
very true.
One of the most expensive series on TV, if not the most expensive.
And then funnier yet was like I think what did I say? Picard had sold on video like lousy
500,000 or something.
Yeah, it's like a lousy number.
Was it 50,000?
It was 50,000, I think, is what it was. Because I even Robert had to go check.
500,000 wouldn't have been too bad.
Yeah, because that's what Robert said. He's like, I had to go check because I'm like, I thought at first you said 500, and then like, no, I said 50. He's like, yeah, I looked. He's like, I couldn't believe that shit. I'm like, that's horrible. He's like, are you kidding? That's redonkulous. Like, there's B movies that like nobody's ever heard of that like Synapse Films will release that make more money than that. It's like,
yeah, holy fuck.
But According to Thanos, they're up to 3,000. Is that for Discovery then? Because that can't be for Picard unless Picard has been. I don't know.
I don't know.
That might have been the first week or month or whatever, because it takes a couple months for the video sales to
even if
tally,
it is that's still pretty brutal.
That's still
numbers.
pretty abysmal. Yes.
Yeah.
That is brutal for something like that would be like the lowest things ever. I mean, like Star Trek the animated series on Blu-ray would have sold more than that.
Thanos was joking, but yeah, I mean, it may have sold a lot more than that by now, but like that was like, because the video sales take a while to come in, like 2 or 3 weeks or better. So they're usually like a month or two behind.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Still crazy.
Undoomed, are you an Indiana Jones fan at all?
Sure. Who isn't?
Before we get into that misery, let's do a couple of super chats.
Well, we have a couple that have to do with that, so let's go ahead and grab those.
Yeah, exactly. Dash D's wonders, did we see the BK Wid, that trailer that dropped an hour ago? It was a good trailer. I have no idea what that is, and I have not seen a trailer in the latest hour, so no.
BK Wid. Trying to figure out what that means. Black Widow, I bet.
Oh, so you Black Widow trailer? Okay, who the hell cares?
Yeah. I'll take a look.
Yeah. And Golgo13, a.k.a. Brandon the Infinite Wolf, says Valiant Renegade breakdown on Viacom was brilliant. Can't wait for Stand and Deliver reunion. Yes, we have that coming next week, so that'll be awesome. Watching this weekend. Cheers, Andre and Tom. Yes, indeed. But Stand and Deliver reunion, that's next week. So it's next weekend you have to watch that. But yeah, June 10th is when that is.
So it's this.
And I also see people wondering, when is Kamran Pasha coming back? We don't know exactly when he'll be coming back to the live show. He'll drop in every now and a while, so I'm sure he'll pop up in the next couple of weeks. But as it happens, I actually spoke with him, not live, but yesterday. And then we did a recording, so we're going to have a massive Kamran Pasha video coming for you about the decoupling between Hollywood and China, and some John Cena. So look forward to that. Maybe we'll even do 2 videos on it. And as you can hear, Tom is the one who's doing the editing right now. So good times.
Tom is very happy.
Yeah. And our good friend Mike, the Mexican Iron Man, says for $20, thank you so much, amigo. Valiant is 100% solid. FYI, Exxon and Apple are larger tax offenders. By the way, Google pays average 8% income tax. Meanwhile, the average American worker has 28% in deductions, Fed and state taken out of each and every paycheck. Only 28%? God.
Yeah, you're Norwegian. Holy shit. What is it over there?
Well, that depends on how much you earn, but up to 50%. And that 50%, that comes in quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a very high income that's required before you pay half in tax.
Half your shit.
Yeah, half your shit in tax. And also, when you consider the VAT that's baked in on everything, you'll be like left with like 20% of what you earn in the end. So
how much VAT?
25% on everything.
A quarter of everything.
Yeah.
Damn. The Norwegian government's just sitting around pissed at you trying to figure out how to get back at your ass, and they're like, I got it. I'll take half his shit.
So everyone that's like talking about how amazing the Scandinavian model is, and like there's something to it. There's more to it. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. And Daniel says, are you going to claim that Indiana Jones is not a mantle? Every real fan knows that it's been a title bestowed on male archaeologists until now. By implication, just like 007 James Bond, it's just a code name that anyone can have. Yeah, I see what you did there. Nice. Let's see what more we can bring up on screen before we get into the classics. And then let's see here. I'm just going to. Valiant Renegade says for $20, right on cue, my buddy Mike, the Mexican Iron Man, shows up. My professional cousin in the financial world. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Midnight's Edge, so much for the plug. You just got me over 400 subs. You guys are outstanding. Oh, fantastic! Thank you. So everyone, go check out Valiant Renegade. He just got 400 subs. So go check him out, and he has some great content. See if we can't get him to 500.
Indeed.
And then John Apocalypse says for £1.99.
Well, what do you know? YouTube unsubscribed me from Valiant Renegade.
They
of
did.
course they did.
Yeah,
of course they did. And have you been unsubscribed from Midnight's Edge again as well?
No, but I check periodically.
Yeah, because that's happened before.
What, did you get unsubscribed from your own channel?
Oh yes, well, technically, I mean,
no, Midnight's Edge After Dark got unsubscribed from Midnight's Edge.
Yeah,
right. YouTube.
But I'm dropping Valiant's link in the chat there, and also Undoomed, so you guys can check out their channels. So there you go.
Yeah. And John Apocalypse says, A Quiet Place 2 made more than Cruella. Ha ha ha. Well earned. And Star Trek's Edge. Oh, I like that name. Wonders, is Netflix acquiring Viacom CBS? Very much doubted. That would shock me. Well, of course, anything is possible, but I haven't heard anything about that specifically. I don't think that... You know what? In this day and age, I'm not going to say anything one way or the other, but I haven't heard anything solid in that direction. It's
not above the realm of possibility, but I don't think
it's not outside the realm. Like, we've heard loads of various takeover rumors that they're trying to gear themselves for a sale. So who knows? But
I was surprised that Paramount didn't get bought by Amazon. I thought if anything, they would make a play for Paramount before they would MGM. That one came out of nowhere for me. If anything, it looked like Warner was kind of hovering over MGM. And then it would look like Apple was kind of hovering over MGM. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Amazon buys them. And I thought, if anything, Amazon and Paramount had been getting chummy as shit the last year.
That's weird that Apple didn't buy them.
Sony, on the other hand, has been more chummy with Netflix. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix and Sony were somehow.
Yeah, and then moving on before we get into the main show, Tsukiyomi99 says, as someone who wants to get into the Conan comics, where do I start?
Oh, wow.
And are they uncensored? Oh, I can't wait to answer this one, but I'm not going to take 10 minutes. So just hold that thought, and we'll get back into that question when we get into the Red Sonja news later on. And we'll do the Conan plug in conjunction with that, all right? So just hold that thought a while longer, and I promise we'll get into it. I can't wait for it, because that's my favorite topic to talk about.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. Let's see, then we also got Lord Trinan, who says... Hail Midnight's Edge. Will there be happy news in this stream today? I hope there is.
Undoomed is here. That's happy news.
That's happy. And also, the Red Sonja news are potentially very good ones.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, there should be some.
Well, maybe.
With the world news getting crazier, the battle for Hollywood feels like the only place we're gaining ground. Yeah. You might check back for when we got the Red Sonja thing. It's partial good news there. Tonnerser Tree says for $5, we are primed to spend monies on good and great content, Hollywood. Check your egos at the door. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah. Black Sabbath says, how bad do you think Netflix will mess up with Sandman?
Andre, this is your domain.
Yeah.
I've only seen the movie once.
You've seen the movie once? Well, that's good considering it hasn't been made yet. But yeah.
Wait. Am I mixing it up with something else? I thought it was like an old 80s movie.
No, Sandman, like the Neil Gaiman comics.
Oh, I'm mixing it up with something else then.
Yeah,
No problem.
No worries at all. I think it's going to be okay. But the problem with it is that the Sandman that you're going to get on Netflix isn't so much an adaptation of the Sandman comics that a 30-something Neil Gaiman wrote in the 1990s. It's Sandman as reimagined by a 60s-something woke Neil Gaiman today. That's right. The issue there. So then it's a matter of like how much is he going to deviate, because he'll be very heavily involved. And I think that I think if you're a hardcore fan of the original Sandman, I think you're probably going to be disappointed with.
Let me put it to you like this: there was one Sir, Sir Mix-a-Lot. He liked big butts. It would be like if today he turned around and realized he didn't like big butts anymore. So, and then he wanted to redo the song. That's what it would be like.
Yeah, kind of. So, and the Sandman comics, they were also what you would call very progressive. They absolutely were. So, like, some of the casting there is like fine when you have like someone who identifies as they playing Desire, I think it was. That's actually very much in line with the comics. But then you have like taken other liberties. And how far do they extend? I don't know. But you had Neil Gaiman himself come out and say that this is Sandman as I would have done it if I had written it today. And that has me worried.
Right.
Yeah. There's some gender swapping going on. And some other things that are just got people a little concerned, and probably rightfully so. Like, but you said that the radio play they did, Andre, recently wasn't so bad.
No, that's amazing. So if you're a fan of Sandman, here's what you do. The beauty thing is that on Audible, they have these Sandman audio plays. So it's not just one guy. They actually get a talented voice cast of professional actors to reenact basically the original comics. It's 100% true to the original stories, and it's amazing. Probably it's going to be better than the Netflix series. And the casting there is just spot on. I mean, this is a cast that should have been a Netflix series, honestly, rather than the people we're getting.
Yeah, and in other news, real quick here, I did hear this: Mission Impossible 7 got shut down because somebody tested positive. So I bet Tom is not happy.
I would imagine so.
Did you hear about his freak out?
Filming?
Yeah, I guess so. Did you hear about his freak out Undoomed?
That was a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they've been slowly nursing this movie along, and now all of a sudden it got shut down. I'm assuming they were like right near the end. They had to be.
Yeah, they must have
been,
because they started filming like November or something, or like late last year.
Yeah, I remember seeing he was freaking out on someone, and he's wearing like triple masks, and he was really, really pissed, right?
And honestly, I can't blame him. Because as he was exaggerated when he said that all of Hollywood is looking to us right now. Again, that's his grandiose self-importance, but still
he still wasn't wrong.
That's what I mean. But he's still a really huge production that has a lot of people's money riding on it, and a lot of people's careers and jobs and employment riding on it.
Yeah.
And in the situation, you better follow the restrictions really, really close, no matter what you personally feel. You just have to do it. And if you don't, and you get screamed at, tough luck.
And another off topic, I did see this Techman play, but I don't know if somebody knows if they're actually remastering it and re-putting it out. Please send me the info, because all I found on it was like somebody's really badly ripped VHS rough cut of it, and I'm not going to sit through that. If somebody has like the scenes cut out separately, great. But I am not one who likes to sit through like rough cuts of movies, like especially if they look like they've been dubbed 10 times over. But that's all.
The frustrating is that of such rough cuts, the one that I have is the rough cut of the 1989 Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, and it's so much better than the release version.
I mean, I'm tempted because I guess this 20 minutes is a lot. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you stop and think about it, it's a lot.
It's a lot. That's a night and day.
Yeah, it's a fan cut. That's what I thought. You know what though? Those fan cuts have a way of making their, once in a great while. And Mario Brothers has never gotten a proper Blu-ray release in the US. I've got the import, which is a really decent release, and even has a nice documentary and stuff on it. But that's a Blu-ray, or I can't believe Shout Factory or somebody like that hasn't like begged Disney to get the rights to that and just done the fan cut version and some other versions, because there's a movie there. It's not Mario Brothers. It's like a Blade Runner kind of movie. It's like Andre and I have talked about this, how it's as far as like a steampunk movie or whatever, it's interesting. As a Mario Brothers movie, it totally fucking sucks.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, cyberpunk. Yeah, it's a cyberpunk adaptation from the makers of Max Headroom. Yes,
right.
And when the filmmakers hire the makers of Max Headroom, who knows how to do cyberpunk, to do Super Mario Brothers, you're going to get cyberpunk Super Mario Brothers. I don't know why they were surprised.
No.
But yeah. And one final super chat I want to go through before we get into the main story. We have other super chats, but we'll get to them. But this one, responding to another. Michael Miller, responding to the Viacom question earlier. Viacom is on sale, but it's not an active sale. They will take it if offered.
Yeah, Sony's kind of doing the same thing last year or so. They're for sale, but they're not like out there with a for sale sign on in their front lawn.
But if someone comes with the right offer, a deal's going to happen real fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll get back to some more super chats here in a bit. But yeah, the big news.
Just one. Do you have a different than the Indiana Jones thing, or is there something else?
No, we can start with that.
Okay, because on just this one, Thunderstorm says, Joanna Jones and the Woke Crusade, produced by Kathleen Kennedy, Joseph Stalin, Karl Marx, executive produced by Friedrich Engels. Yeah, that's all right. We're in that. Let's jump into the first main topic of today before we continue. More super chats a little bit later on. And that is that Indiana Jones to begin filming in the UK next week. And we have some conflicting reports, conflicting in that it apparently is filming already.
That's not abnormal. Yeah. Sometimes before an actual shoot starts, you'll have like some second unit going and some other minor things going. That's plausible. Like they shot like a rock.
Yeah.
Geode's already in the movie.
Yeah. No, apparently it's a castle. It's a castle in Scotland.
Yeah.
That they apparently are filming. We got this tip from our good friend Stephanie Yanisek.
Yeah, and there's also supposedly a leak already that there might be a connection to Last Crusade. Yay.
Oh, okay. But is that like did George Lucas finally get his haunted house in a castle Indiana Jones story?
Oh, good Lord. I wonder if that's how it'll start. You know, I never even thought of that until
You remember that, right?
Yes, I remember. That was before the aliens.
Yeah, that was his first idea for that Indiana Jones 4 thing.
Then finally Steven's like, I don't want to do aliens. And he's like, well, they don't have to be aliens. They can be interdimensional beings. And he's like, fine, whatever. I don't care. Just do it. Get it over with.
And then we get aliens.
Yeah.
10 years later.
Honestly, what's the difference? But anyway, the story here, though, of course, is it's not just that it's filming, but that an Indiana Jones movie is filming, and the one that's producing it is Kathleen Kennedy. And this may be her swan song at Lucasfilm. The rumors that we have heard is that she is indeed out, and she's no longer welcome with anything to do with Star Wars. But no matter what happens, she gets to finish this movie because she started out with Indiana Jones. That's how she was able to latch onto Steven Spielberg in the first place. And so it's only fitting that she finishes with Indiana Jones, especially since she has been able to somehow get that kind of Amy Pascal-like hold over it. Just like Amy Pascal has a hold over Spider-Man, a contract which says that they can't make a Spider-Man movie without her involvement. There apparently is something similar to that.
No, it's actually cleaner than that, Andre. It's pretty clean and simple. It's because Kennedy Marshall has always been the producer on Indiana Jones films, so they technically probably own
almost taken it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so like they can't shake her no matter what. And when Steven walked away, it went to prove who's in charge now. And George ain't got nothing to do with this shit.
Right.
But because he sold out his stake entirely as Spielberg walks. Well, that leaves Kathleen Kennedy, and by implication, behind the scenes, Frank Marshall.
I was gonna say we only have one hope left. I do my best. I can't promise shit.
No, considering that they got Phoebe Waller-Bridge to co-star in it, and if they got her to co-star, you can rest assured they got her to rewrite the script as well.
Yeah, we have hope. We can hope for Frank, but I don't know. He's been so busy with his Bee Gees movies and stuff lately. I doubt this is even really that much on his radar.
And also, do you think that he's going to fight his wife over that?
Exactly. Yeah.
And create problems in the home. It was like one thing when he could hide behind Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, but if it's just him.
Yeah, he has.
What is Indiana Jones without Spielberg, anyhow?
Or Lucas, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It was the perfect marriage between the two, and it was lightning in a bottle. And they've tried to recapture it ever since. They were actually able to kind of do it twice, but they made the mistake of trying again. And I feel like this is going to turn out worse.
Yeah, of course it will. But the first three were good.
The trilogy is fantastic as a whole.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they even made the third one. I mean, the fourth one.
Yeah, thank you. I was about to say
the third
one. That's the best one. But at least in my opinion. But the third sequel. Yeah, the fourth.
There is no fourth movie. Yeah.
That was a mess, and it wasn't just because of the aliens.
Well, at least with Indiana Jones, I went into that one expecting the possibility that it was going to suck after the prequels. And I know people are going to start throwing shit at me in the chat. But yes, kids, there was a time where people didn't like the Star Wars prequels. and they really were concerned that Indiana Jones was going to go the way of the prequels. And lo and behold, they did. But instead of Jar Jar, we just got little what do you call it? Little monkeys and the hedgehogs or whatever. Not the hedgehogs, Jesus. I'm trying to think what the hell they're called. Prairie dogs in the beginning of the movie.
And they were so cute.
Right.
Apart from the fact that they were CGI.
Oh, the fact that they made the Paramount Mountain was like my first indication that something was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like something is very wrong here.
Yeah. Well, it was the movie that literally nuked the fridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to have some supernatural shit, but could you at least try to obey physics?
Well, and it also kind of goes against everything that Indiana Jones was before.
Yeah.
Like, because every movie was a religious artifact that they were going after. And in this case, it made it interdimensional, but it was technically aliens. And once you introduce aliens into a situation where you've had religion before, it really kind of messes with shit. And that was kind of the whole joke of Indiana, or not joke, but I don't know, I wouldn't call it the hook, but just kind of a little thing with Indiana Jones was he was, he didn't believe in God. He was, he didn't have it, but he kept running into these things that were real, like the Ark of the Covenant and then, all that kind of stuff. So it was like everything that went against his belief system. That was kind of the whole, like I said, it's not the joke, but the gimmick of the series. And you kind of lose that with aliens because they even set up in the beginning, motherfucker knows aliens exist. So it kind of undoes what it would be like Indiana Jones in the first movie. It's like, yeah, I've already found Jesus's tomb. Now I'm looking for the Ark of the Covenant. It's like, well, that doesn't jive with what Indiana Jones is. I don't know. That was kind of off, but I think you guys get what I'm getting at there. But it just doesn't jive with the whole.
It's like something he probably already suspected.
Exactly, because they open up the movie and he was there during the crash of Roswell, and so he's obviously aware that they were aliens. That's the whole point of that open scene. So then when there's aliens at the end of the movie, it's like that's no surprise for him. Why would that be any surprise at all? Because that's the whole point of the first 3 movies is that this guy doesn't believe in any religion, but yet everything he's running into is real. And it's the stones in the second movie, and then the Grail in the third. So they're all religious artifacts. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's really weird. That whole movie's got so many weird things. I mean, remember I don't remember his name, but the guy who keeps flipping, he's like a double
Max
agent.
is like one of the worst fucking characters ever in the history.
And then at the end, he's like, it's okay, I'll be okay, and he floats off and dies. Like, what? The fuck?
Yeah, if you were such a double agent, you could have got him out of this situation how many times now?
It's just weird writing. And
it does not even belong in a museum. It belongs buried deep somewhere. Nobody can see it again. Sorry, dude.
I just really didn't understand that whole alien thing at the end. Like, what the fuck's going on?
George was hung up on it for years because that script leaked online like in like 94 or something like that, like early internet days. I remember that was like an early one that everybody was reading and they laughed about. It's like, oh, aliens and Indiana Jones. And then we actually saw the movie and we're like, they didn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like the only thing new in that script, I think, was the kid, because the script was early enough when it originally came out that it was, not feasible for Indy to have a kid yet. Like that was the only stuff to me that was new. It was like, I knew all the rest of this crap. I was hoping they were going to go for like the Lost City of Atlantis or something like that. That would have made more sense.
That would have been awesome. That would have been sweet. I totally watched that.
Yeah. Which they kind of do, because like it's like almost like El Dorado when they wind up finding the alien thing. It was like, you just take the aliens out, it would have been better. Just find the Lost City of Gold or something,
Yeah. Yeah, it made no sense.
But anyway,
that would have been even sweeter with the Lost Cities of Gold. What was it? El Dorado.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that would have been. I was just thinking for the name. Yeah, that
because that's kind of what it was at the end, but it was the whole alien thing that kind of overtook everything. But yeah.
It just turned weird. Like, I think Atlantis would have been good.
It would have been very good. So of course, you could hope that we would be getting Atlantis or something cool like that now, but apparently that is not the case. Illuminati.com. They published some leaks earlier, some rumors of what might be going on. I'm going to send it to the private chat so you can bring it up on screen, Tom.
Sure.
Just give me 1 second here.
There it is. All right.
Yeah, perfect. And here then it says Indiana Jones 5, new details on Mads Mikkelsen's villain character and film's connection to outer space.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm not surprised because it's going to take place in the 60s probably.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And what they say here then is that plot and character details have still been kept tightly under wraps until now. The Illuminati can exclusively reveal the roles of Mads Mikkelsen and Jeanette Renee Wilson. And on top of that, when the next installment of the Indiana Jones franchise will take place. And then they say, according to our sources, and our here is not like Midnight's Edges, but the publication, the Illuminati's sources, Mads Mikkelsen will be playing the villain in this new installment of Indiana Jones. His character is described to us as a Nazi scientist enlisted into NASA by the United States government to work on the space agency's moon landing initiative.
So he's Werner von Braun.
Yeah, they've made Werner von Braun into the villain.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I'm not surprised that they tried to bring the Nazis back in some way, but I didn't know that the Nazis were still infiltrating shit in the 60s.
That's a little like Iron Sky type of thing. Oh my god!
Iron Sky was awesome, by the way. But
wouldn't it be the Russians by this time?
By this time,
Yeah.
no, because here's like the thing that by this time the Nazis were
because
already
we were in the space race with the Russians.
We were in the space race, and
Yeah.
thanks to the we can't even say that word, but we've messed up already then. But thanks to those nasty people on the wrong side of the strife with Germany back in the 40s. The Americans, this is true, they went and they recruited the top minds of those Nazi people, especially those involved with rocketry, because according to the Americans' own estimates, the German rockets, and this was thanks to Wernher von Braun and his V2, were approximately a century ahead of American development. Not a century, but it was like ridiculous amount of decades. Like they were the only ones who could do it. No one else could. Wernher von Braun mastered it in the V2. And everyone else they learned by basically retro-engineering the V2s. That's what the Russians did. They went in, they got the V2s, they captured some of the scientists working on it, and they retro-engineered them. Whereas the Americans, well, they got von Braun himself, and because of that, once they eventually let him started working for them proper, they ended up on the moon.
Right, but if we get Indiana Jones on the moon, I'm going to lose my shit.
Be careful with what you ask for, because like if they've opened that door.
He's like, yeah, well, I'm not asking for it. I'm saying don't do it.
Well, don't give them ideas.
It's going to be like, here's the funny thing is he's going to crash land on the moon. You watch.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to run this shit into the ground, aren't they?
Fuck's sake. Yeah. Well, didn't they already do it with Fast 9? Why not?
And then we have Emperor Billy Ritchie, who obviously knows his or her, not going to make any assumptions, history. We had von Braun. The Russians had Korolev. Yeah, that's indeed right. He was the one who did the retro engineering of the V2s and was able to further it for the Russians, meaning that they won to begin with. So yeah. Mr. Tickletrunk says Yahtzee moon-based time. Oh, yeah, actually, you could be right with that Iron Sky thing. Awesome with that.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't. What are they doing?
I don't know, man.
Oh, well, we know why they brought James Mangold in this. Let's jump to that bit real quick. Is anybody going to be surprised when Indiana Jones dies at the end, probably on the moon?
From riding into the sunset to dying on the moon.
I'm gonna land it.
To be clear, everyone, we don't know that Indiana Jones is going to die on the moon.
No, but chances are you didn't bring in James Mangold for any good reason other than look.
And James Mangold, he specializes in, like, since Logan, like his specialty has kind of like been to kill off the heroes. He did it in.
I have a feeling that's why Logan. They brought him in.
And he did it in what was that race movie? Like Ford Ferrari. He did it in that one
Ford
too.
Versus Ferrari
was history, but so yeah, of course they got him to give Jones an epic send off, and maybe it'll be on the moon.
Well, and I think a lot of it has to go back to what Harrison Ford said like 2 years ago. Nobody else is going to play Indiana Jones but him. He flat out said that when they were talking all the female Indiana Jones stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's where Phoebe Waller-Bridge is probably brought in to take over in his stead. Because she's going to start out as this prissy, English fucking... she's going to be his replacement at the school. You watch, because he's going to be retiring as a teacher, and she's going to be there as his assistant, and she's going to be taking over, and then she's going to get wrapped up in this adventure, and then she's going to be like the next one to take his mantle. And I know people are bringing up that he supposedly lived in the 90s. That was in the TV show that probably doesn't matter anymore. Just remember that.
Well, I mean, what is he now? Like 80 years old?
Exactly. Or he is in his 80s or 90s. Yeah.
Harrison Ford, I mean, right? He's like 80 something.
Yeah, he's 80 something, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, he's not going to be running around doing any sort of wild stunts, that's for sure. That would just be cringe.
I guarantee you Kathleen Kennedy has never even watched the Young Indiana Jones series, even if she was an executive producer.
She wouldn't have to watch it in order to be that. Like, her job would be to make phone calls and shut down Brooklyn Bridge and stuff.
Right.
Exactly. Don't get me started on that. Anyway, no, like I have a feeling that's what this story is going to be. Is going to be Phoebe Waller-Bridge taking over the whip in the fucking hat. You watch.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do.
Because he's going to be too old. He's going to need to stay in his lane.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be Obi-Wan, and but I just can't get over this moon connection. Like, Jesus Christ.
I hope it's not true.
That is potentially very scary.
Yeah, like we're going to get Indiana Jones and Moonraker.
Yeah, that's what some of the people in chat are already bringing up too. It's like, yeah, now we've entered Moonraker territory. It's like, not even 5 movies in, and that's where they're at already.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think they should just let it be. But they're threatening with us, and they're threatening with it so much that they're making sure that we know this son of a bitch is filming. Did you notice that too, Andre? That's the other thing I noticed. Is like,
yeah, of course. This is about making a statement. This is going back to what Kamran Pasha was saying, that now the change has already happened in Lucasfilm. Now it's all about securing the legacy of Kathleen Kennedy. So this is what she's doing now. See, she's still out. She's still doing this. That's why they make such a fuss about this is now happening. So no one think that Kathleen Kennedy is as useless as you all secretly know.
I love this statement here. Action comment. Again, we're going to get back to the other super chats in due time here. But if the first 3 Indiana Jones films were an homage to serial films, and Indiana Jones 4 was an homage to 50s sci-fi, what will the 60s influence be? Dirty Dozen or Beach Blanket Bingo? Think the latter, but probably more a bunch of like Phoebe Waller-Bridge just telling Indiana Jones he's an old fossil.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to like reference anything. I mean, it was Spielberg and Lucas that did that before. None of them are involved. It doesn't have to be like a play on anything that came before. It could be just about telling him to shut up because he's a man and be ashamed. And
but you know that's going to be in there because it's taking place in the late 60s. So they're going to have the civil rights movement and all that stuff's going to be in there.
Absolutely, I agree, and I think that's part of the reason why they brought in Phoebe. She hasn't been said to have been writing anything. She's just casted right now, but I guarantee it's going to come out that she writes something.
Of course, you never hire Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the writer and showrunner of Fleabag, in addition to its star, for an acting-only role. I mean, even on Solo, where she played like the activist droid, like the Droid Lives Matter droid, even there, she got to write.
She improvised 90% of that shit, yeah.
Yeah, you never hire her just to go in and read the lines.
And that was so bad that most people were thinking it was almost a parody of itself.
Well, that's like the thing. When you get too activist, it inadvertently becomes a parody, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there were so many people saying that. Like, I'm not even sure if they're making fun of SJWs or if they are SJWs at this point.
Well, here's like the thing that like those people, and I do not like to use that term. I prefer to just call them activists. But the activism has gotten so extreme that there is no telling between what's actual activism and what is complete parody.
Right.
I mean, you have like this parody account. I forget the name of it. It's on Twitter and stuff like that. You have like, it's like this conservative guy who's behind it, and it's like this. Help me out in the comments. And
Tatiana McGrath or something like that.
Yeah, I think that might be it. And he just puts like the most outrageous statements from this Tatiana McGrath, and people fall for it nonstop because it's something that the actual activists.
It's indistinguishable. It's indistinguishable from the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's like that's the scary thing. But there's no way to distinguish the parody from the real thing anymore.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah. So with her on board, we're certainly gonna get something very special, aren't we?
Also on that note, referring to just that, Food in the Steadfast says, I thought the robot was making fun of SG Jobs. No, that's like the thing.
That's the
dead
point.
serious, and that's how it inadvertently makes fun of itself. But they don't see it that way.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It looks like if you're like charitable.
To the target audience, that robot was the best thing ever. I mean, just go and look at the articles at the time. People praised that robot as if it was the second coming.
Yeah.
She's the reason.
I mean,
that breaks.
It breaks the universe, basically, because then everyone is a fucking asshole. Luke is a fucking asshole. Everyone's an asshole if robots actually have that kind of sentience that they're implying there.
And it brings a whole new meaning to the line when Lando's like, "Hear me, baby, hold together." Now we know who he's talking to. Why he's so upset about losing that ship. I mean, why would you gamble your girlfriend to the Han Solo is beyond me. But hey,
yeah, let's not think about that too much.
He fucked that robot.
Oh, he fucked that good.
And everybody, I love all the people who are like, "Oh, they did not imply that." I'm like, "What the fuck do you think it meant when she goes?"
You know what? I agree because it's wrong direction, right? Okay, you say that he effed that robot. I think it may have been the other way around.
She fucked him,
yeah, he might have been on the receiving end of this.
No, I was gonna say no. People were arguing more so that it even happened. I'm like, what the fuck do you think that scene is where they're like, "How does it work?" And she's like, "It just works." Like that's exactly what they're talking about. They're talking about their sex life. It's right there.
Yeah, exactly. And when that robot said it just works, then that is not said by the shall we say the receiving end of the equation. That's a giver who makes a statement like that.
Well, though the way they got Lando in that movie, he would fuck anything that moves. So like that,
or be on the receiving end.
The fish stops swimming when he walks in the door. That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah. They're like, oh shit, don't move. He'll see us in the tank.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The dog hides under the couch and
while we're topic of the Indiana Jones, Troy Pacelli also points out they're making sure we know Indy is filming and making sure we know it's nothing we'll want to see. Yeah, because that's how marketing works these days. It's like appeal to the Twitterati and the target audience right there, and make sure that the built-in audience, because they're problematic, will have nothing to do with it. Like this is a tried and tested procedure that always ensures going broke, which is why Lord of the Rings is doing it right now.
That'll feed into one of our other stories that we're going to talk about.
I will get into that real quick. First, I want to get caught up on some more super chats. First, we'll do the ones I can bring up on screen. Then we're going to get into the classics here. Let's see what I can bring up on screen. Oh, I can bring nothing up on screen. That was easy. We're going back to the classics. The first one today is from Willie Woodward, who says, sorry I'll miss the show. Good luck. Hi, chat. Hi, panel. Well, hi, Willie. Hope you catch it on the replay. And says, hi, gents. Hello, everyone. And I happen to see in the comments that also wouldn't be able to catch us live. So I hope everything is fine. I look forward to seeing you later.
Is that ASMR?
Is it ASMR?
That's a little ASMR.
Andre
should do his whole like an ASMR channel. Be like,
yeah.
What would that be, like me saying the whole time?
No, you would.
Yeah, a little Frankenstein. You couldn't throw in a Frankenstein in there.
Yeah.
You would
I was actually thinking of reading some Ibsen for channel members. That might in its original Norwegian. That might work the same way. I was figuring.
Right.
But yeah. And then Culture Casino says for $5, the Swan Song starts filming. The glorious disaster predicted. No Spielberg, No Lucas, no good. This bridge to nowhere lady is the new Ted McKinley. And Cultured Casino follows up with, for Kennedy, this is a great follow-up to 4 funerals and an immolation. Great. After the stink applied to Bond and after its impending flop, this movie will flop. Yeah, actually, I'm looking forward to seeing Bond right now just to see how bad it's going to be. I mean, like at some point you just give up hope, and then you might as well just hope for the worst so that you can at least laugh at the flames.
Speaking of hope, go ahead, Undoomed. Sorry.
No, I think we talked about this last time, but is there any news? Is it ever coming out?
Well, Amazon has it now since they have MGM, so it'll come out whenever they decide it's coming out. I would imagine they're going to try to get it into theaters or something, so we can all.
I think there's still some deal with Eon and all them that they have to put it in theaters. Like that part, I think has always been part of the deal. Because for a while there, they had a deal where it was going to go in theaters, and then 45 days later, Paramount Plus had a deal with them.
Right.
Now I don't know what the hell happened with that. I think that Paramount couldn't afford it. Is what happened, and Amazon came in because I don't know if that was ever a done deal. But yeah, that's possibly what's going to happen. Is they've got that like 2-month window now. So they'll definitely try and drop it in theaters first.
Right.
I think so too. So then we can look forward to seeing the box office flop numbers.
Yeah,
that's always better than the movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling this one's gonna. I don't know. Well, but then again, the last few Bond movies have made more than the other ones, so go figure.
Yeah, there's that.
Goddess of Whim, though, I think this would be everybody's hope and dream if Indy 5 ends with Han Solo waking up from the nightmare. Be like,
sure.
Oh my God, those last few movies are all a dream.
Oh, that would solve a lot of problems. Yeah. Give him that.
Yeah, and moving on, I just have to say, I saw in the comments there that in reference to what I'm saying about like ASMR, maybe I'll read some Ibsen in Norwegian. And then Jakob Romanski has a request. Du vil Annen. Yeah, we'll see. I was actually thinking of Terje Vigen, because that's a poem. So it's like on rhythm and rhyme. So even if you don't actually understand Norwegian, you'll be able to at least do the ASMR bit with the rhythm and the rhymes in it. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll do Villanen after we finish going through Norse mythology for members. And then moving on.
Reminds me, I got to get that other fucking video done. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I was. So you're welcome for that reminder. And finish up the next behind the scenes video, but that's coming real soon, like this weekend, I promise. And Steve Carruthers says for $2 Canadian, have you all talked about Lady Warner exec being gone? If you are talking about what's her face again?
Anne Sarnoff, did she actually leave finally?
No, she hasn't left yet to my awareness, but we did talk about her apparently sending out feelers looking for a new job. Not only did we talk about it broke here on Midnight's Edge, because we had Mikey Sutton on as he got the message from 2 different sources live. So we were the very, very first to break it. But as of this moment, unless something has been like breaking while we've been live,
not that I see,
she is still with Warner Media, but she won't be for long. I think
Probably
that she's gone, because from everything that we have heard, David Zaslav, who is the incoming CEO, is not happy with how they have been running the show at Warner Media, and he's especially not happy with how they've been running DC on films.
But what's funny though is that, you know, Kilar left, like he was going to leave, like it was in the news. Everybody's like, yeah, he's leaving, and then now, no, he's not leaving. He's sticking around. And then there was that story I sent you yesterday. Like, I'm not so sure that I was too far off with when I said Zaslav is going to come in, but he's going to pay attention to what, you know, made money or has fans. And the Snyder Cut is not something to sneeze at. I mean, there's people importing the shit out of that Blu-ray right now because you can't get it in the U.S. And from what I heard from Bill Hunt originally on his deal is he said that the reason they hadn't done a date for the US on it had nothing to do with HBO Max and everything to do with they don't have the facilities right now to make enough discs. They're like backed up because
really,
yeah, like there is no more US distribution plants for facilities to make discs. They got to do them all in Mexico and other places. And now just this last 2 weeks ago it was Warner shut down their facilities and now they're doing a deal with Universal, so that really slowed things down. Like everything's at a dead crawl right now. Like they don't even know if they can get them out in time, kind of thing. So they haven't set a date for them. This is what I heard.
Right?
Because there's a lot of people who want to get their hands on it, and they've been importing the shit out of it. Because there's a lot of places that don't have HBO Max yet, or haven't been able to get the movie proper. So that's another reason why people are trying to get their hands on it. So it's a bit of a hot commodity.
Right.
Did you get yours yet, Andre? Because I thought you said something about ordering it.
Yeah, but I didn't. So yeah, that is. Thanks for reminding me. I have to get that one.
Because I know Bill was waiting for his yet in the mail. So
yeah, well, I'm sure mine. I'll let me just check that real quick if it's in store or waiting or what, because that I can find out. Let's go to Platekompaniet.
I think it came out this week.
Yeah. Let's see if they have it here. Justice League. Find that out right away. Try to spell it correctly. Yeah, they have it in store, so I can go get that right away. The only thing that's delayed is the Steelbook limited edition.
Yeah, I was going to say the Steelbook has been really tough to come by.
Yeah, but no, they have the regular 4K Blu-ray that's in store in the Norwegian release. So yeah, I'll be getting that right away. Yeah.
Then ActionCom has a quick question here before we get back to the other super chats. What is your bet concerning Indy's wife Marion? Dead, divorced, or still married? Good question.
That is a good question. Yeah.
Karen Allen really hadn't. I mean, she kind of quit acting for a little bit, and then she came back with Indiana Jones, and then I think she's been working fairly steady since. So I got to imagine they'll try and bring her in for at least a cameo.
Probably, yeah. The thing is, I mean, we don't even know how big a role Harrison Ford will have at this point.
Well, when they bring in Phoebe Waller-Bridge, that kind of suggests that his role got a lot smaller right there.
Right. So, I mean, it could just be that he's like the Obi-Wan that just gives her advice and shit.
Yeah. And from what I've been hearing for a while, they're going to ignore, what's his name? Mutt.
Right.
The kid?
Yeah, they may mention him, but from what I heard, I don't think they're going to have him.
I'm sure that he'll just be off on college somewhere, and that's one throwaway line. And I also would not be surprised in the slightest if they're divorced, because that would be so progressive.
Could be. Jesse, yeah, I'm with you. I've been on the train of just recast him for years and keep it in the 30s and 40s if you're going to do it that way. Like, there's no sense in because to me that's what makes Indiana Jones. Because once you get past a certain point, guys like him don't exist anymore.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that was like a 30s man's man. That was like manly men from that period.
Well, not just that. It was the age of discovery. It was where you constantly had all these, like that kind of fell off.
Yeah, he was kind of a Renaissance man.
Once all the major digs and discoveries had been found, I mean, how many have we had in the last 30, 40, 50 years that were really that major,
Actually, there are a couple. And
yeah, but like, would that have guys like
Indiana? Don't even get me started on
let me rephrase that then. Let me rephrase that then. The people that we've had in the last, like, 30 years have been people that have been, they looked up to Indiana Jones, and that's why they got into archaeology. But I'm willing to bet that there was a large patch of time in there where it wasn't like the thing you wanted to get into. Like, there was no real reason for it for a lot of people. I'm sure there were, plenty of archaeologists out there, but like there was probably a resurgence in the idea of being an archaeologist at that time. Because
I mean, it wouldn't work in today's technological world. I mean, nowadays archaeologists are doing archaeology.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
from satellites, they're doing ground penetrating radar shit from satellites and discovering way more than they could do on the ground.
Thank you. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be fucking boring.
That actually gives me an idea what would have been perfect if you were to recast and do like a younger Indiana Jones. What would have been freaking perfect? The Nazca lines. They only just like the Nazca lines. We don't know how old they are. Like, we really don't. Archeology may claim like a ridiculous number, but like 500 years or something, but we don't know. What we do know is that they didn't even discover what the Nazca lines were until like the 30s, because that was the first time you actually flew over the area, and the pilot nearly had a heart attack seeing that these structures that were invisible from the ground made up figures from the air.
Ancient alien theorists say yes.
I ain't saying it's aliens, but it's dinosaurs. But
anyway, you don't even have to go with alien, but you
never.
But there you absolutely have like something that's absolutely worth checking out.
I think people forget how much slave labor can get done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You got
people who can't gripe about putting their life in danger,
and they don't have fucking Twitter and HBO and shit. Well, what the fuck else are they gonna do?
I'm gonna build a pyramid. Shit.
Yeah, that's fun, man. What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, it's dinosaurs. Yes, 6. It's dinosaurs. I think they're smarter than we give them credit for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
those raptors, they were figuring shit out, man.
Especially if you look at the new Jurassic World shit.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, they went from being able to open doors to being able to talk and shit. And next thing you know, the raptor is going to be doing sign language and shit in the next one, probably.
We're going to get to that point where we have the gremlin, the intellectual gremlin.
Oh, God, yeah, brain gremlin. Yeah. All we want is what everybody else has. Civilization.
Exactly.
And then I'm moving on with a couple of super chats before we get into the next main topic. That 70s rock fan said Indiana Jones 5, Indy and the Woke Template of Doom. I think we got that
yeah,
one.
We did.
Kaiju King Gabriel says, greetings, Midnighters and the panel. Andre, have you ever heard of the band Heilung? It's Proto-Germanic and has Viking influences. That and Vardruna. I have heard of both of those bands. I'm not too familiar with their music, but I know of their existence. Best I can do. So I hope they're cool. But I haven't actually heard their music. And then Darius Münchhausen and Gran Wasu 42 both sent us popcorn super stickers. So thanks so much for that. Stephen Otten says, hail Andre, Tom, Undoomed, Wrenches, and Midnighters. I'm waiting for the day cats take over the planet.
They already have.
Catty people are certainly in the process of doing just that.
No, just think about it, though. We serve cats. They've figured this shit out a long time ago. I'm standing in the door going, Kitty, are you coming in? And he's just sitting there laughing at me. You know it. I'm coming when I'm good and fucking ready. And then not only is he coming in, he just lays there and expects me to go pick his ass up and bring him in the house. That's how fucking trained I am.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's the trick. Also on that point, Dash D says, come on, Tom, like any guy, don't like Jason or cats. Yeah, cats. Let's stay with that.
Oh, yeah.
And
cats are dicks.
Then
they are.
let's see. And this is going to bring us right into the next topic. Hypergiver 2 said, all I know is the gaff with the OneRing.net. JSG, Nerdrotic, and Heel versus Babyface has been keeping me amused. Fake fans trying to gatekeep is hilarious. So let's get into that a little bit. Tom, what's going on with the OneRing.net? You know, that's like web page for Lord of the Rings news.
The WokeRing.net? Yeah.
That's Gary from Nerdrotic used to get much information from and talk up frequently. And I emphasized in the past tense.
Yeah, I haven't really stayed too much on top of this, but I was aware of it to a point. I saw it and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Let me break this down here. Bleeding Fool put this together. WokeOneRing.net throws fuel on Amazon Lord of the Rings backlash. The stakes are high for Amazon Studios' upcoming Lord of the Rings series with a reported first season budget of $465 million. The series will become one of the most expensive shows ever made, right behind Discovery. In an interview with Hollywood Reporter, Amazon Studios chief Jennifer Salk, our favorite, said, "The market is crazy, as you saw with Knives Out deal. Netflix paid $469 million for 2 sequels. This is a full season of a huge world-building show. The number is a sexy headline or crazy headline that's fun to click on, but that's really building an infrastructure of what will sustain the whole series." Yeah, it's amortization. We know, we talk about that shit all the time, but it is crazy world, and various people on this Zoom, mostly Bela and me, have been in bidding situations where we start to go incredibly high. There's a lot of wooing, and we have to make decisions on where we want to stretch and blah, blah, fucking blah. Who cares? That ain't even the point of what we're getting to. We've been talking about for a while, and especially Gary's been talking about for a while, and those guys, about how the series is going to get all woke. And we've been really scared of that. The token site, though, OneRing.net, has been something that Gary has been talking up quite a bit in the last few years. But all of a sudden now, somebody behind the web, or not the website, but at least the Twitter deal, because this even gets into like religion, and I don't want to get into that part of it, but let me see if I can get to the yeah, this is where it all began, right here with this tweet. They tweeted out, "Listen, we've been dealing with homophobic comments for decades, and it's still wrong. Whatever toxic arguments are being said now about Lord of the Rings fandom and adaptations is the same trash that said Ian McKellen was the worst affront to Tolkien's legacy ever. Hashtag Pride." And of course, as you all know, it's Pride Month.
And that brings, of course, the question: who the hell said anything like that ever?
Yeah, I'm curious as to that as well. Like,
I'm pretty sure Legolas was always gay.
Sorry?
I made a joke. I'm pretty sure Legolas was always gay.
And I'm pretty sure no one really minded, because I certainly do not recall any kind of backlash or comment or controversy about that whatsoever. I was there when those movies were released, and I was old enough that I remember that vividly. And I remember those being the best things ever. I remember he being everyone's favorite character. I do not recall any kind of complaints about that. Not at all. Not before.
We knew
not
then
since.
He was gay. Nobody had a problem.
Right.
People have known he was gay since what the
obviously I haven't
something.
heard. Yeah, obviously I haven't seen all of Twitter, but I've never seen any complaints about it either.
Here's the most people's reaction when they found out Ian McKellen was gay. What? Ian McKellen's gay? Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, like it's like okay.
It's like telling somebody that Vincent Price was gay. It's like, what? Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
I'm Vincent Price.
But but you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of Fantaforstic.
Yeah,
which is like Ghostbusters 2016. That's where they had like the playbook perfected, but they started writing it with Fantaforstic. And what you had there was they were also trying to go with this fake controversy about this massive racist backlash against Michael B. Jordan for being cast as Johnny Storm. And it's funny because I was there in the message boards wherever the movie was discussed. I observed all of it. And what I observed, it was that for every single thread that you could possibly in any way, shape, or form construe as racist, there were 50 threads denouncing it and attacking the fans for not being progressive enough, when really most of the complaints weren't about making him black, but about Why do you choose the one place to race bend where it gets awkward? Why do you go into a pair of siblings and you race bend one of them and not the other? So you have to make story hoops to justify it. Instead of, for instance, race bending Reed Richards himself. That would have been better. You could even have cast Idris Elba.
We know why, because China didn't want a black and a white person together on screen. That's why. I guarantee you that's why.
Oh, yeah, and that's the same reason why Finn and Ray never did anything, because they probably planned that, like, when they were writing the shit. It's like,
well, that's actually known now, actually, on Doom, now that you say that, because I think John Boyega said that. Right. Initially, JJ's plan was for those two to wind up together, but Ryan Johnson and the crew changed it. Yeah,
I've never heard that, but it just made it so obvious to me anyway that, like, at some point they were writing that from the start, and then at some point someone said, "Whoa."
Well, it's clear when she's like,
people in China is not going to be happy if there's a black guy with a white girl. That's just not
exactly.
They're Chinese people. No, they're not going to be buying tickets for that. And so they just said, like, "Oh, fuck progressivism. We got to get paid."
Exactly. So, and people thought I was crazy when I said that, but then I'm like, no, I'm serious. I guarantee you that's why. Yeah, because now we know with John Boyega, because he came out and flat out said it. And you know that was the case in the scene where she's like, "Don't hold my hand." They're obviously setting up a love thing, and he's like obsessed with her ass. So clearly that's where they were meant to go, but they didn't. And you know why? China. I guarantee you. Same thing with Fan Four Stick. They could have had a biracial couple in there, but nope, China.
Yep. That is the way it is. So fucking hypocritical.
I mean, you could even still make an argument there's places in the U.S. that wouldn't go see that movie because of that. But no, I guarantee you it was more because of China. And I know, Andre, we got more of that about that coming with Cameron, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had like the same thing with Black Panther in particular. I mean, they tried to conceal that there was black people in the movie as much as possible by like obscuring the face of Chadwick Boseman, putting the mask on him. And when people went to see the movie in China anyway, that was like their complaint. It's like way too many black people here.
Well, and it's funny because they don't actually, like, if they would have put Will Smith in that movie, they wouldn't have had a problem, because that's what China wants. They don't necessarily give a shit about that other stuff so much as they go to see an American movie because they want to see American actors and, you know, an American style movie. That's why everybody's like, why do they keep putting Chinese stuff in American movies? Because they think it's Baizu. They don't give a shit. They think it's stupid. They don't want to be pandered to. They go to see a Marvel movie to go see Captain America and the Hulk and Spider-Man and shit like that. They don't care if there's Shang-Chi or not.
They have a movie industry that is almost as big. So, I mean, they get plenty of movies with their own people in there. So I'm sure it's kind of exotic to them.
Exactly. Like China wants to see American movie stars. That's why, you know, you put people that like in the big movie stars in the movies, and that's what they want. They want to go see The Rock. They want to go see Tom Cruise. They want to go see Angelina Jolie. They don't know who the fuck Ray or Finn are or any of these people. They don't give a shit.
That they didn't like that movie so much.
They have zero fucks to give, like a koala in the rain when it came to Star Wars.
Yeah, that is not a big thing there.
You don't have the clip to roll?
Not yet. We'll save it.
We save that for the end. Yeah. That's our new exit, or not new, but it's been our exit for a while. So
yeah.
So that's the one and only.
And Comics Division reminded me that I have to thank him for that. So.
Thank you, Comics Division. We are so grateful for you for coming.
He reminded I stole it from him. I stole it from him. He reminded me. He's like, "You stole my koalas in the rain."
Yeah, we totally did. We totally did. I didn't even know we stole it, but now that I do, and Comics Division came up with it, I totally approve of it. So
I've been using it so long for other shit. I was like, "Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did steal it from you." I couldn't even remember that.
Isn't that like Z Frank?
Yeah, that's who did it. Yeah. Yep. But anyway, yeah. So shout out to them.
But exactly. But let's get back to the main topic because we got sidetracked there. Anyway,
yeah, we did.
The point is that this.
So yeah, then ring.net went on a tear, and then started blocking people, including just some guy. And then I remember that was another big part was that they went after just some guy and he's black. The typical activist move, as you like to say, Andre. And then as soon as they realized their snafu, they blocked him.
Yeah.
I think they tried to deny that they blocked him.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was a whole big. And again, I haven't stayed exactly on top of this, and I was. But
the one they have the real hate boner for though is Nerdrotic.
And I was going to say, guarantee. I was trying to get Gary in here this morning to talk about it, but he's so busy. So guarantee check in tonight on Friday Night Tights. I'm sure there'll be loads to be said about this tonight.
I'm sure.
But yeah, just to kind of get the overview of, because I hadn't even really been keeping up with it that much, but I normally do when it comes to Lord of the Rings, but I just wasn't surprised. And they deleted their tweets, as Arwen brings up here. I'm not surprised by it. For some reason, it just didn't even flip that trigger, in me, where it was like, how about getting upset or anything like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, but I'm curious. Undoomed. Why do you think that this happened? Why now? Why now so suddenly? Because Gary has been referencing the One Ring net for quite some time already, but right now they suddenly flipped a switch and they went complete activist and instantly started attacking the fan base. Something they have not done before, but they started now. Why do you think they did that?
I don't know. I'm sure you have a good point with asking this question. I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, Tom, why do you think they did that? Why now?
I think this is on the, they kind of tell you why they're doing it. First of all, it's Pride Month. Second of course. Second of all, this has been heating up as this, I did a really piss poor job of going through this article, but that's kind of what this article was building, was this whole thing that we've been reporting, and mainly like guys like Gary have been reporting on more so, the whole, what they're doing with the characters, what the show's going to be about, and then they're also been attacking like the elements of it that are kind of based in Catholicism and stuff like that, because that's a big problem right now. And again, I don't want to get into religion aspects of this too much, but they're going after that part of it too. So it's really boils down to they're not allowed to mess with certain aspects of Lord of the Rings, but especially since I forgot his name now, but the Tolkien's son who had been overseeing a lot of this crap.
Chris Tolkien or
Chris,
something?
I think it is. Yeah, I think. I apologize if I'm wrong, but yeah, since he sadly passed away recently, I guess this thing has been, Christopher is what they're saying in the chat. So the Amazon's been making moves, and there's certain things that they can do now that they weren't be able to get away with before. And it's, to our fears, there was a point where they just remember we reported on it 2 years ago when this first began, that they had to recalibrate the entire show, from scratch and all this other stuff. And then when the casting started coming out and, people were making big deals on certain aspects of the casting. And so, the OneRing.net is pushing back against a lot of this stuff, I guess, showing their true colors. I don't know, but it goes into that activism stuff you were talking about, Andre. And I'm not trying to be all cryptic, but there's certain things I don't want to get into here. And I'm afraid of the YouTube bots, I don't want to, get into a lot of the religious aspects either. So, yeah.
Here's what I think.
Isn't it just safe to say that a lot of it comes from Norse mythology, though?
Oh, well, a lot of it's based in what would be a history of England, basically.
Yeah, but also there's a heavy Norse. There
is some
influence,
especially with names and stuff, Middle Earth and Midgard and all that.
Yeah, and also you have Vestfold, this location there, I can go into my car right now, and I can start driving, and in 45 minutes I'll be in Vestfold because it's an actual place.
Right. And same thing with like the Shire is like supposedly like the Midlands or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You have like Gary J. Tunnicliffe. He's from there. I don't recall exactly which Shire he was from. I think it was like Lancashire, the Shire.
It sounds like that's what he said, I think.
Or if it was Leicestershire or there's multiple shires there in the Midlands. It's whichever Gary J. Tunnicliffe is from. That's the Shire. I think it might have been Lancashire.
Yeah, the Shire's England, but it's supposed to be that whole area, kind of like a prehistory, like kind of an idea of, pre-human history.
Right.
Well, at least pre-written history. But anyway, what I think...
Well, it's technically before the age of human. They even bring that up, but or age of man, but Anyway, you're saying.
Yeah. What I think brought this up is that a little more than 1 week ago, Gary from Nerdrotic, he put up a video titled, I don't think that this is the only thing, but I think it's part of it. He put up a video called Amazon's Lord of the Rings is a Giant Global Disaster. And he is, of course, completely right about it. And in this video, he breaks down why it's going to be a disaster, which I absolutely believe it's going to be. Still, it's an incredibly huge franchise for them. It's a huge investment, the single biggest IP investment Amazon has done, as far as I'm aware at least. And this video has nigh on 300,000 views. And I guarantee you that the people involved with it, I mean, these are bad robot people. The showrunners are the people that wrote one of the failed Star Trek 4 scripts for J.J. Abrams, and they haven't done anything else, and now they're showrunning Lord of the Rings. So basically, it's a bad robot production.
Oh my God, that fucking meme where J.J. Abrams is coming from door to door destroying franchises. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Completely true.
Every fucking thing he gets his hands on everything, and he just destroys it.
Him or his proxies.
Yeah.
And these then are his proxies. And what they see right away is that, oh shit, like fans are turning against this. And that I think is why they've targeted him particularly, because he speaks the truth. There's nothing wrong about what he says. Mm-hmm. He correctly points out exactly why this is going to be a disaster. And that, of course, is very painful information for them, because those things that lead to it being a disaster, those are the things that they have deluded themselves into thinking are going to be selling points. There will, of course, be anything but they can't have anyone know that. So now suddenly I think that this has to do with the people at Amazon, that the Pride Month, that may be a coincidence, that certainly may direct the angle of attack, but they see that the fans aren't as enthusiastic as they should be. So what they're trying to do is the old playbook of shaming anyone who is critical, probably in the hopes to guilt everyone else into going along with the narrative. That's what I think we're seeing here.
Right.
Continue to use the same playbook that has never, ever worked before. But when coming from an activist mindset, you don't know that. You don't realize that. Because the people doing this are obviously not the money people. It's the activists that are running the social media and stuff. Again, it's like the same thing with the heavy metal situation from last week. The people that are running the social media aren't the same people that are paying the bills and have like the strategic oversight.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah,
it is crazy. But that's
I'm sure that's the way it is. But it's insane.
So I don't know that for a fact. That's just my reading of the situation. But based on recent experience, I don't think it's far off.
Yeah, I have no idea. But of course, with huge companies, obviously the CEO isn't going to sit there and run the Twitter account. So they obviously have some asshole that's taking care of that. Don't know about heavy metal, how big a company that is, but
it's just an IP farm. It was bought up by two guys that intend to fix it and use it as an IP farm to mine for movies and TV adaptations. But in so doing, they have to like fix the comics a little bit, repair the image. Unfortunately, there's crazy people running their social media accounts that really damaged the brand with the comic book audience.
Oh yeah, that was some hilarity the other, like a week ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I got that famous meme up here on screen, only it's missing DC and probably a few other properties on that door now, but
Yeah, like he is doing DC too, right?
That's the thing that Hamada brought him in for, but we're not so sure that's what he wants.
Right.
Hamada is not the one who brought him in. He was brought in by people higher up at Warner. And
let me rephrase that. That's what Hamada wanted him to do.
Yeah, that's exactly. And then Hamada is like, hey, since you're in this building anyway, why don't you like run this DC thing for me? Why don't you do that amazing thing you did with Star Trek? Because I love that. Why don't you do that for DC? Because that worked out so well.
Because it worked so well.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that guy gets work.
Well, as Lindsay, the cynical geek, asks here in a very generous super chat, I just don't understand why they keep crapping on the fans. It hasn't worked for Ghostbusters 2016. It hasn't worked now. What's going to get the powers to realize this?
Well, here's the thing that it's PR agencies and PR people doing this, and they're not risking their own money. They're being activists on someone else's dime. So what it's going to take is for the actual bill payers to realize that we have crazy people running our social media. And they are crazy people, because what's the definition of insanity? Well, that's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And these people that run these kind of social media platforms, they like now with whoever is actually posting behind the scenes at the OneRing.net, they are following the same playbook that has never worked before. And until the actual bill payers that want to see a profit get rid of them and hire someone that actually is going to promote the interest of the companies, it's not going to change. So it's actually the owners that have to take responsibility here and make sure that they have ambassadors.
I think they're so lenient, though. They're so lenient. How much money do they want to set on fire?
And then you can wonder, what do they feel themselves, since they're so tolerant of it? I mean, like, just look, for instance, at Marvel and Marvel writers, all the stuff that they have tolerated. I mean, so the sympathies must go pretty high up. Otherwise, it wouldn't be tolerated.
And the other problem is you have, beyond the PR people, you have the people that are actually involved in the making of it, where they try, and this is the thing that, it's heavy in Star Wars, Star Trek, and all these other places.
That's a bigger issue, because
you have people that will sit there and convince the money people that, look, you want these fans over here, you don't want these fans. They're racist, istophobe white boys. We're going to bring in these new fans. Once you get rid of these other fans that you think that you don't know about, they're going to just spring out of nowhere because they were afraid to be a fan of something because of these white folk over here. That's what they're trying to say.
Right.
But then they realize, hopefully they'll realize eventually that's not how this works. Because once you kill the original fan base, you've killed the franchise.
Right.
And they're ignoring all the people that weren't white and weren't male before that. And that's the problem stemming back to Ghostbusters. That's the exact, problem. And that's exactly what, people...
Yeah, people didn't like Star Wars because they're racist. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Exactly. But that's what they're trying to convince you, or at least they're convincing the people with the money and all that kind of stuff up, is like, no, you want to get rid of these fans. Yeah. And that's exactly goes back to the heavy metal thing last week. We keep seeing it time and time again. And that's where I've said it. It's as crazy as it sounds. It's fucking real. They'll sit there and tell these people that, no, you don't want these fans anyway. Doesn't matter that the fact that they're the ones that are spending the money, doesn't matter that they're the ones that are buying all the figures, doesn't matter that they're, been the fans that are tried and true for 40 years to a franchise. Those are old white fans that are racist, and you want to get rid of them. And once you get rid of them, then these other people that were scared to be fans before, they're going to spring up out of nowhere, and they're going to magically make this a brand new franchise.
Speaking of magically
springing up. Nowhere. Yeah. We have the one, the only Lorena Creole. Welcome. How you doing? Let me get you up here so people can actually see you.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Glad I could pop in for a bit. I almost didn't make it. Production issue. That's my
how you doing?
Fault. Hey, Undoomed, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just chatting, having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this graphic just
stomach churning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
I've seen
it's heart-wrenching.
Point once on that, but
that's Gary just told me he's working on a video about all this stuff. It got a lot bigger than he.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah. So that's something I'm sure we'll be talking more about. But do you have any quick take on this whole OneRing.net versus Gary, and it's just some guy and whoever else has tried to dare take on the OneRing.net?
Oh, it is such a load of crap. First of all, I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a Lord of the Rings normie, so to speak. Okay, cool. I'm not alone. I mean, I watched the Hobbit animated cartoon. I know who Gandalf is. I know who Bilbo Baggins is. I know who Frodo, is. Fantasy just was not my thing. I had some friends who were into it. So when the movies came out, I did make it a point to go and see them because I wanted to see them. And they were wonderful. They were absolutely wonderful. One of my favorite movie trilogies to watch where I do not have a serious investment in the fandom. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it. So I think I'd gone on Twitter, I want to say yesterday, and saw Gary's tweet and saw that tweet from the One Ring. And I'm like, oh, great. Here we go again with the SJWs losing their crap. And of course, it's Pride Month. So they want to go on with this thing about Ian McKellen. And I had tweeted at them, show receipts or, shut the heck up.
Right.
Because I didn't care. At least no one that I knew, we didn't care about his freaking orientation at all. We just cared that it was Ian freaking McKellen. That's what we cared about. So when you keep hearing this, well, you're homophobic or whatever, you notice these people never seem to have receipts.
Yeah.
They don't want to be questioned. And when you question them, you see the kind of pushback that happens, like with just some guy who, they come out saying, saying respect the lore is basically racist. And it's like, you're talking to a black man, right? I mean, and it's happened to me too. Well, you'll get one of these
wait, you're not white?
I know, right? Even though Abu Nas kept saying what?
I know. That was hilarious.
Oh God, yeah. But it's like I get the same thing where I'll say something and they'll say, you're racist or whatever. I'm like, not for nothing, but did you look at the profile before you answered? And then they start backpedaling, just like they did with just some guy, and eventually they wind up blocking you because they don't want to take responsibility for, making such a stupid move like that, being so obviously ignorant when they do it. So I think a lot of it has to do with the new Amazon series where I have no investment, but I've heard just how much of a train wreck it looks like it's going to be from the likes of Gary and some, and some others. And just yet again, it is heartbreaking to see another huge fandom that has been around for decades.
More than half a century actually at this point.
Oh my God. What is that clip from Red Letter Media? Like, how does it feel to see all your franchises go down in flames? How it feels great.
Pretty much, yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Oh, we got Paulie in the chat. I'll send him the link if he's not.
Hey, Paulie.
Busy. How you doing, Paulie? And while he's in the chat, make him a wrench, Andre. If you haven't.
Oh yeah, sure, for sure.
Let me see if the One Ring has blocked.
Well,
I've been
haven't I
waiting
not
for
done
that.
They haven't blocked me yet, but I bet you they have you. Yeah, because I saw your tweet, Lorena. So like,
Yeah, they haven't blocked me or Midnight
They
Edge
haven't
either.
blocked me yet.
they probably knew better.
They probably don't want me to call them racist.
Oh,
Probably
Lord.
that's what it is.
Oh man, these people.
I tell you. So yeah, I saw your tweet. I thought that was funny. Just like so, but I haven't really stayed up to. I haven't had a chance to really keep up on it so much. But I'm glad you hopped in to give your side of it. And
Paulie already has a wrench. That's what I thought.
okay, he does. Okay, I wasn't sure if he did or not. Maybe it's Midnight's Edge Espanol that needs a wrench. But
Did you guys see that the One Ring accused just some guy of lying, making a screenshot?
yeah, we did bring that up,
Okay.
but we didn't get into the full logistics of it. If you want to kind of break it down real quick, I know we were talking about they had deleted a tweet, and evidently they've deleted all the tweets, I guess, or something to that effect. But
yeah, what I had caught up on, and hat tip to Lady Gravemaster for bringing this to my attention. Just some guy basically put a tweet out that said, to summarize or paraphrase, if you're going to accuse me of faking a screenshot, you may want to think that I've already captured that on Screen Grab. And he did like a whole video capture that showed the One Ring having him blocked.
Right.
Like the foot bullets just keep on coming, don't they?
Just do. It's just like, just take the L and move on. But they can't do that. They have to go down kicking.
No, exactly. They have to win. They have to get their points. And if they
that's
don't,
not possible on Twitter.
Oh no.
No. People will die on that hill.
Goodness. You think they would learn, but nope. Oh
No.
No, unfortunately, you have like there's what is the saying? There's a new one born every day. And,
sucker born every minute.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can see where this
when
is.
One learns their lesson, or learns takes their L. There's a new one to take their place, and sadly, that new one is often managing social media accounts.
Yeah.
And then we got this one here now that where they directly go after Gary. It says Token was a philologist. Is it philo? How do you say that?
That's a new word. I haven't seen that one before.
No, I know how you say it in Norwegian. You would say it's philolog. It basically means like an expert in languages.
Okay.
Language expert.
Philologist.
Yeah, okay. That's
philologist.
yeah. Who studied the changing nature of words and languages. Yeah. Phantom Token and passion for linguists. There's meaning of words and matter. Please help us and Nerdrotic politely align this discourse. Define woke.
So
I can help define woke. Someone who lives in a dream world and believes a false narrative. That's woke. Someone who's sound asleep.
Yeah, basically when what's between a person's legs and the color of their skin become everything. Like a racist and a bigot.
Yeah, pretty much that, and also someone who is addicted to virtue signaling.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So much so they can't handle it when they're wrong.
And it's built on victimhood. It's all built on victimhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the ideology. It's like you arrange people and give them value in accordance with their group identity's perceived level of victimhood.
Right.
Which is
there is nothing from the individual matters. It's only the different characteristics they possess that matters.
Yeah, exactly. The ones you are born with and you can't do anything about. That's what defines you.
Yeah,
and then it's your level of victimhood.
Can't really think of a more oppressive ideology.
No, neither can I.
Maybe I can, but I mean, it's pretty much up there.
Yeah, it's right up there with everything else. Yeah, and I don't know what else there is to say about that particular topic. That's
no, I'm sure there'll be more to be said on Gary's end. And Justin Guy and stuff like that. Yeah,
I will say I agree completely with Lorena's take on why this is happening. That this is Amazon that's ultimately behind it. That's the same thing that I said earlier. And what this tells me
is that Gary's earlier reporting that it's going to be a disaster is 100% accurate. So with that confirmation that the One Ring just provided, I look forward to start doing videos on that.
Yeah, Gary hasn't responded in a video anyway yet. He's working on that. But I know like Ryan Cannell and a few other people have done some videos on it. So there's stuff out there. But yeah, like Gary, I just talked to him a little bit. He said this got a lot bigger than he thought it was, or he had initially planned, anticipated, whatever, however you want to put it. I don't remember the exact term he used, but yeah, the video that he was working on probably ballooned is the point he was getting to. So look forward to that, and I'm sure there'll be plenty to be said about it tonight on Friday Night Tights too. So
that should be a
it'll be a big main topic, I'm sure.
Yeah,
yeah. As Bill Lumberg says here. Yeah, Friday Night Tights will cover it tonight. Gonna need that TPS
report. You didn't get that memo?
You didn't get that memo? Yeah. And Az did a video too. That's right. The THX. So yeah, check out those guys' videos. And I'm sure it'll be a big topic tonight. So there we go. We got a few super chats that I think we want to get back to and we got to get caught up on from earlier.
Yeah, I have it right here, actually. Just to continue from where we were, we're now on classic super chats that I can't bring up on screen. Or do we have some I can't bring up on screen? Just do a quick check.
We have a couple here, but...
Yeah, we have. Let's do those first then.
We got Stephen Otten
says, first they tried to destroy Tolkien by calling him an ist. Now they celebrate him as a paragon of wokeism. They need to make up their minds.
That's just like
their ideology is one that's going to give you a backlash trying to follow all the changing or whiplash is what I mean. You'll get a whiplash trying to follow the shifting narratives.
That's the latest one making the rounds again. Is this and that has always been woke, like Star Trek and stuff. They love using that one. Oh, but it's always been woke. You just don't like it because you're an istophobe. It's like no.
I mean, there's a difference between making you think and shoving things down your throat.
Exactly. And that's what they want to do. They want to beat us over the head with it because they don't trust you. They don't trust the audience to make that connection on their own. They want to, beat it into you. So make sure you know it.
Yeah. I mean, it was great that Star Trek had the first interracial kiss and, they made great stuff and all that. But they didn't beat you over the head with it. They made you think you came up with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's like some 40 chess level psychology, reverse psychology there, which is the way you should do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Indeed it is. And then moving on to...
And actually, I was just going to say, Andre, you made a great point before about that, how Star Trek has always been humanist, not woke or whatever. I can't remember.
Exactly.
Right, that's a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I put in the Picard retrospective, that Star Trek of old was always humanist. It was never woke. It was humanist because everyone had equal human value. It was infinite diversity and infinite combinations. To quote the Vulcans, and the Vulcans were incidentally full of shit, but still it's a good saying.
The Vulcans were racist.
They were the greatest bigots and racists this side of the galaxy.
God, between them and the Romulans, I'm like, are you serious? But that's what was that was another cool thing about the audience making that comparison, on their own.
Right.
So the Romulan or the Vulcans, they had a really good saying, even if they themselves did not believe their own saying in any way, shape, or form. It was still a good.
They
saying.
Some elite motherfuckers,
Spock
pretty elite.
Spock and his unfortunate human mother. Who wasn't a call her that? I'm like, wow, that's bad.
Yeah, there's some bigoted, racist, xenophobic motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they started that in DS9.
But Mike Cat, Andre did just make woke an oxymoron. There's nothing wrong with that. David Stout sends in a $5 super chat. Says Chris Token, that's who it was. Yes, was the gatekeeper, the sole guardian of his father's lore and IP. Now that he's gone, I don't like saying it that way. All the Token property is now open court and dead. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what I was.
That
That's what I was
explains it.
getting at earlier. Is like, yeah, they Chris was the one that was kind of making sure that things weren't, being a pain in Amazon's ass, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Lucky for
Because
them.
every franchise needs that. It needs a caretaker, someone who has the interest of the franchise first. I mean, Conan has that. Didn't have it for a long while, but it has that now. And Tolkien had that for a long time, which is why the movies up till this point, you can say what you want about the Hobbit trilogy, but on the whole, it was all pretty good. Now he's no longer there, so now the floodgates are open to, not great stuff. Tom, can you bring any more super chats up on screen?
No, those are the only ones I can grab. So
okay, well then I have a couple of more here. Right. Perilous Plain, my countryman, says for 200 Norwegian krona. Tusen takk. That's thank you in Norwegian. The Middle Earth Saga is J.J.R. Tolkien's lament to the invitations of Britain and loss. He must mean invasions of Britain and loss of its mythology.
That was part. Yeah, he did always say that, like, there was no British myths, and so I know that was a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And as I said, like the Norse thing was part of it because Vestfold, big location in the Lord of the Rings books and movies. I can sit in my car right now, and in 45 minutes I'll be in Vestfold. So that's pretty cool. And then the
But
podcast,
can you go to Midgard?
Don't have to. No, we're all already there. That's
what about Helm's Deep?
No, but I can go to Jøtulhogge.
So Midgard is that like the Klingon Stovacor?
No. Midgard is our Earth.
All right, it's Valhalla.
Valhalla is their Stovacor.
That's Stovacor,
Midgard is our
there
plane of existence where we live. That's our part of the 9 realms. And also on that, in the next Norse video coming in a few days, as soon as Tom finishes editing it, I'll go through all of the 9 realms of Norse mythology. So that'll be cool.
Right.
Okay.
That's cool.
And in the meantime, then, the podcast with Ian Slater says, to go off Tom's point, they aren't totally ignoring minority fans. They're trying to make us comply to the woke standard. If we don't, they attack.
Yeah. Exactly. Just like what happened with Just Some Guy. I've had it happen to me in several fandoms. If you are protected as a poor minority until you go against that woke gospel they try to shove down your throat, then you are completely unpersoned.
Yeah,
right.
That's my crazy. That's my observations too. That the moment that you are part of the groups that they consider to be better, because the group identity is one that's more victimized according to their ideology. If you deviate from the narrative, you'll be ostracized instantly.
Like Terry Crews and
even Ice Cube that happened
Ice
to
Cube
him of all people.
Yeah, because he's been woke as shit through this whole thing, and all he had to do was say hey to Trump, and it's like, fuck you fucker, you fucking traitor.
Wow.
It's like, what the fuck? It's Ice Cube, man.
Dang.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, what do you do? You talk to Trump. Oh, dear God.
Oh, we can't have that.
Yeah, good stuff. Moving on from there, because we are getting to some really, really cool ones. Then we have James296, who says, as a fan of Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and a fantasy nut, I want only one thing now. JJ plus head plus bike. I leave the rest of your imagination.
I'll just take the head.
I understand.
I don't need no JJ.
We usually like shy away from like implications like that, but that was a good one. So kudos for that.
Culture brings up a point here. We should craft a response to the Marxists and call them what they are. I need something that I can copy and paste to these folks to save time. That's what they do. They just copy and paste shit. You notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just go in and just spam the shit out of shit. It's just like, oh man,
no originality.
And then let's see. Fake Name says, name another industry that can crap on their customers and can stay successful. They continue to make money or will be bailed out by the government again.
Well, there's one industry I can think of that can do exactly what they're doing and it actually be part of the game, and that is the Dom industry. Outside of that, I have no idea.
The what?
Yeah, I was thinking just that. You know,
like the BDSM Dom industry.
Okay. I thought that was what you meant, but I want to.
Yeah, like other than that, like, what other industry do you want somebody to call you a fucking piece of shit?
Is that an industry though?
Yes.
No, it surely is.
Oh, it is.
You'd be surprised at how many people will pay loads for that. So yeah,
it makes no sense. Like
I can make some money.
Exactly. Like it'd be like the fast food industry going, "Come on and get our shit, you fat fucks. You know you want it." Like in Idiocracy. Fuck you, I'm eating it. Carl's Jr. You know?
Yeah. And also, just point out, like, OnlyFans can get people to buy
exactly.
backwater. Yeah. And there's loads of stuff you can do, you can get there. So that particular less than commercial industry, or less than like thing that you would talk about to your parents. It's that, and it's Hollywood, where you can literally pay people to
shit
crap on you. And it's a good business model,
both literally and figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So
especially if you're Johnny D's bed.
Yeah, I was about to say. So like Aqua Lady, she certainly like in the right general sphere.
Oh, you got a t-shirt.
Yeah.
We got
By the way, get our Amber's Turd t-shirt.
Yeah, the link is in the description. So if you want this glorious t-shirt, also you should check out the channel for what's the keyword we're looking for? Aqua Lady. It's like the video where you have like this woman from Game of Thrones who might be taking on Aquaman and replacing the actor we cannot name. Check that one out, because that's the very first time that Lorena and Mandy learned not only what Aqua Lady had done in Johnny's Death, they knew that already, but they didn't know that there was a picture of it. That reaction was freaking hilarious.
And I really wish I had not clicked on that picture.
No, you had to, right?
Of course.
We warned you not to.
It's like, don't look, and you got to look anyway.
It's worse than you'd think. No, she can't be some cute little like poo in the middle of the bed. No.
Oh my God.
Looks like the fucking scene from like Friday the 13th in there.
Okay, now I'm like curious, but
just replace blood with the other shit. I don't want to see literally.
It, but I do.
No, I'm not kidding, Undoomed. It looks like a scene from Friday the 13th. Like, just replace the blood with shit. Like, it's all over. Like,
oh my God.
She didn't just shit. She smeared that shit all over.
Out of your head.
No, let's put it this way. I have changed enough of my nieces and nephews' diapers. Okay, that was tame compared to that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's goodness.
She nasty, as Mecca J says. She nasty.
But once you get that duvet cover in the shop, let me know, because I want that.
I know. We've been working on it. I got to figure out how to do that. Sukiyami99 says, woke garbage also dominates the educational institutions. Yes, this is true. And luckily my kid's out of there by now, but yeah, it was getting bad for a while. And I'm sure it's gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into that because that's a little out of our purview, but I'm sure the parents out there, you have some rights to be concerned, especially with modern public education. Dash D sends in Canadian $2. Thank you so much. Topic minus rails equals midnight. Yes.
Pretty much.
Some days it does seem that way. We got another one here we can bring up on screen. Jillian N says $9.90 with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you. Woke is an issue of priorities. Wokerists favor presentation over problem solving, identity groups over individuals, dogma over debate, and empty statements over exceptional storytelling. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Jillian just defined it for you.
Yeah, I have to correct you though. It's vokerista, which is the longer form of vocoso. So,
Yeah,
Why
Wokoso.
why not just call them Wookiees?
Wookiees. Wokies.
let us not defend the poor Wookiees. They never hurt anyone.
Yeah, not the Wookiees, but the
Wokies are
Wokies.
cute.
I like that.
Yeah.
Fake name said I'd rather stick toothpicks under my toenails and kick a wall than talk to woke people in person. It would be more enjoyable. You'd probably get farther and get more done. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be more enjoyable if the woke person was the one who did that. That would probably be much
Exactly,
more
yeah.
enjoyable to all involved. But
Just tell them it'll save some marginalized group, and they'll do it.
Mhm.
Anyway, going back
no,
to
then they have to do something themselves. This is like these are people
Oh,
that
that's
want
true.
everyone else to do the
they're like,
sacrifice.
can I do it on a keyboard on my phone?
That vocal fry.
Yeah. Moving on with the super chat here, and this is one I thought was pretty cool. GEC812 says for $2 Australian, Tolkien kept sex out of Lord of the Rings. Bezos wanted Game of Thrones, and yeah, remember that we know that they were looking for. Like intimacy coordinator or whatever the title
I
is.
heard
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Which
to
is
me.
not only
And
stupid
also-
because if you want Game of Thrones, they had Conan.
Yeah, that's my
Right.
point. They had the series that's more Game of Thrones than Game of Thrones was Conan, and they had it, and it would have been more Game of Thrones than Game of Thrones in every way possible. And they rejected it. It wasn't Bezos. He didn't reject it. I think that if he had been presented with what they had, he probably would have said, oh, hell yeah, we're doing this. That's what I think.
Well,
But it wasn't presented to him because he had hired a new person to clean up Amazon for him. She took a look at it and decided, this is too Game of Thrones. This is horrible. This is toxic masculinity. This has to go.
Well, I'll take it one step further. I guarantee what happened, and I can't say that this individual has said anything about it because they haven't. But I'm just willing to bet that she's like, yeah, well, we want to do this, that, and the other. And Frederick Malmberg probably said, "The fuck you will." Again, he never said that to us, but
No, he never said anything.
I'm willing to
be
bet
fair,
money
so-
though that's probably what happened though.
Yeah, I would not.
I just don't want
Again,
anybody misquoting us.
we do not know. He has never said this to us, but I agree that is a very plausible reading of the situation.
Because
Because
he does
he does for Conan was Chris Tolkien did for Tolkien.
Exactly. He's the guy you got to go through. And when we talked to him, we got a pretty good idea of the type of person he is and what he expects out of Conan. And it's not what she would have done with it. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that's like frustrating that they had Conan, they had their Game of Thrones, and now they're trying to make Lord of the Rings into Game of Thrones.
Which it isn't. Not even in the least.
It's not. And as someone who's watched Game of Thrones, I didn't read the book, watched Game of Thrones. I don't want Lord of the Rings to be that. Lord of the Rings has its own great storytelling.
There's a little
without
bit of
that
romance,
whole-
but not
Yeah,
sex.
it's not the overt, 2 shades away from being on Pornhub type of thing. That's
Exactly.
going on,
it's
like Game of
romance
Thrones.
in the grand.
Exactly.
grand
It's
term.
like your bodice ripper romance novels, put that way.
Yeah, it's kind of the same flavor of romance as Star Wars.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Undoomed. Like
Right.
it's implied, but it's more of the grandiose romance than the we're gonna get it on kind of thing.
That's been that's throughout the particular storyline, which is what makes it pay off so well.
What's
Yeah.
the matter, Polly? Polly's ticked off. Get on and tell us what's up, man.
What language?
I don't know. He said something. What's up, bro?
That you said in Spanish?
Get on the show.
Yeah, no,
I was
what,
gonna-
no,
You
what he
weren't
said,
related.
he was criticizing the vocosas
Yeah.
in Spanish.
Yeah, we'll get
earlier.
on here and unless he,
Yeah.
well, I know he's dealing with some stuff. So if you can't, that's cool. But yeah, otherwise get on here.
I was gonna say Narcos taught me so many bad words in Spanish.
Not being used as virtue signal. That's what's best in life. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for those that are just listening. Shadow C455 asked, Conan, what is best in life?
Boobs,
Conan.
babes, and beer. In that order.
Oh yeah, there's some.
No lies detected.
But yeah,
And football
no,
on
that's,
Sundays. Yeah, football on Sundays.
but again, that's what's so frustrating because I hope that the Netflix series is going to be good, but what they had on Amazon was freaking perfect. I mean, seriously, they robbed us of the next Game of Thrones there. They really did. And then they're trying to compensate by sexing up Game of Thrones. Oh, sorry, sexing up Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Well, what's sexier than an elf sword? That's a quote from Clerks 2. That shows who I'm hanging out with here. I thought I was hanging out with a bunch of fucking nerds.
I haven't seen Clerks 2 in a long time.
One ring to rule them all.
I'm embarrassed.
I saw it when it
missed
was
that
new.
one.
Well, is there a Clerks 3 or something?
No, there's Clerks 3 coming. That's Clerks 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where he's like, yeah, I just made some Lord of the Rings geeks.
Yeah,
throw
no,
up
I
all over.
like Clerks 2. I saw it when I was there. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah,
No,
that,
he's
was,
like-
that was a cool flip. I like that.
What's sexier than an elf sword?
Yeah, I like the guy. I like the guy trying to take back like certain phrases. That
I'm
I
taking
only
it back.
Yeah, I only learned it there. That okay, so that's a thing. That phrase apparently.
Oh, hell yes, it is.
All right, that's another movie I'm gonna have to watch this weekend.
Oh, you've never seen Clerks?
Oh
Have you seen
no, I
Clerks
did
or
see
Clerks
it.
2?
I saw Clerks 2 in the theater.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say. Okay.
But it's been years because the first Clerks was so freaking hysterical, especially the
I'm
whole
37.
argument about the contractors on the Death Star. That whole
Yeah, that was brilliant.
conversation.
Yeah, and also like the whole Optimus Prime conversation and how it was like perfectly primed for the movie. that only goes to show how old that movie is by now.
I know. Well, that's that's the character I was talking about. He's like, yeah, what's sexier than an elf sword? I'm trying to think of his name now. I just lost it. But anyway.
Yeah, that was a really cool movie.
Oh, I love Clerks
yeah.
too.
Yeah, no, I learned so many nasty expressions that you're not supposed
Even
to
the
use
fucking
from that
trees
movie.
walk in those movies.
Yeah, it's coming back to me now. So yeah, that's cool. And then Jillian also says
Elias,
for
that's it.
$9.99. Thank you so much. Another aspect is that so many of these woke folks act like money is the devil, unless they're the ones making it, or if large, wealthy corporations are telling them what they want to hear.
Well, that kind of goes back to the whole joke that I have with Lorena's assistant and YouTuber Fat Steven Seagal is the whole give me $500. That's how they get paid. That's where they make their money. It's this activism bullshit. They know this shit don't make money. So the only way they can get money is to just get handouts. And that's what the whole bailout was about too. And it's just ridiculous that that's how they think this is going to work is you make something that makes money. That's how, even going back to like even kids know in school, oh, we want to raise some funds for something. Then you go out and you sell some candy bars. Right. It's not that hard. You find something that people will buy and you go sell it. Why you want to make a cause? Then that's why I've said, go make a movie about that cause, but they don't want to do that. Why? Because nobody will just go see a movie called, Repressed Black Man. That's why. Instead, they'll go see a movie called Black Panther, though. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. Or they'll go see a movie called Star Wars. That's why they're doing this shit. That's because they know, and they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And that's what I've said before, going back to the whole, they're trying to get rid of this fan base because there's this imaginary fan base that's going to spring up out of nowhere that's just afraid of this other fan base. No, that's not the case. That's not how it works.
Right. But that's a good point, though. They're trying to take over franchises just to make propaganda movies.
Absolutely, that's exactly what they're doing, and they're not even hiding it anymore. Kurtzman has come out and flat out said it. I know people like Pablo Hidalgo have not really done a good job of hiding it. There's a few other people who flat out, when they talk about their platform, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah,
that's what Kurtzman said. Star Trek is now a platform. It's not even Star Trek anymore then.
Yeah, it's sad. It was just supposed to be good stories, asshole.
Couldn't do that.
Yeah, couldn't even do that.
Anyway, sorry for the rant, but I hope you got your money's worth.
And then moving on a little bit more, let's see. Rambam 3000 says for £5 British, Tolkien was a professor of Anglo-Saxon at Merton College, Oxford. The Shire is Oxfordshire and Berkshire of the early 20th century. Ah, there we go. So not Lancashire then. Well, anyways, one of the shares, the Shires. Yeah. And Mags says for $5, no gave an F about his preferences. They are projecting their anger towards real fans and Tolkien for knowing actual lore. They even targeted Gary. Yeah, that's exactly right. Actually, I think she wants to say no one gave an F about Gandalf's or the actor's preferences.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
No one cared.
Nobody cared.
We all knew. It was not that big of a deal. In fact, even when he was played Magneto, I was like, yeah, and because he made a big deal out of it then, because that was the whole thing that Bryan Singer and him were like trumpeting in the press, was like how they took their influence of how the gay community was use that as an allegory for X-Men. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what X-Men has always been, and that's why it worked. It's an allegory for the civil rights movement and the women's movement and the gay rights movement. All those kind of things work just fine in that universe. You can do that. It works when you do that. But when you sit there and just beat somebody over the fucking head with it, like they do in Star Trek and that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They could do that then with X-Men. It made sense, and they weren't doing it like overtly. That's the other problem. It wasn't like he was sitting out there going, "I'm Magneto and I'm gay."
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna make everybody gay mutants. That's what they would do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they had class.
They sure did.
Well, and it's all about like that was. They knew how to do it then, and it's not just. I'm not just trying to like say it was just that movie. It's a lot of movies from back then. They all knew how to do it better.
Right.
You take an idea.
They put emphasis on the story. It's like when they
exactly
right. It's like when they came out with all those press releases and fucking sound bites about Picard. It's like, yeah, it's going to be an intimate thing, but we're going to study his character. And what do we get? Fucking explosions and karate and like, the fuck are you talking about? You guys are fucking incompetent. You can't.
More like destruction of his character.
Yeah, it's the destruction of his character. It's like. It could have been interesting to see what happened to Picard. It could have been a Logan thing, right? He played that role.
That's what it should have been.
It should have been.
He's like fucking senile and shit. That could have been interesting.
Well, and
someone could have made that work, but it just should have been karate and fucking kung fu and explosions and starship battles and robots and for fuck's sake.
No, you're right.
It should have been. Sorry, Tommy, interrupted.
No, go ahead.
But it should have been about Picard himself, because the reason that I wanted to watch that is like, okay, so Picard is basically the most interesting man in Starfleet. And you get to see where his life has progressed so far, find out about the stuff he regretted, the stuff that he didn't regret about. But I thought that the series was going to be about him, those stories behind the stories that we didn't see in Next Gen. Things like that, things that we didn't see in the movies, kind of filling in the blanks. And what we got is, some doddering old guy with women constantly, cussing him out and yelling at him. And it was a shell. it was embarrassing, and I'm just like,
It was
how
embarrassing.
can you trash a character like Picard?
No, every episode
Because
is
you
who's he
don't
going to
care.
apologize this time?
Yeah, who's he going to
Yeah.
apologize to next? And all of a
And
sudden,
what
the
can
Romulans
Kurtzman-
can't help themselves.
Right. And how can Alex Kurtzman squeeze in an explosion?
Yeah, and an explosion, or decide if he's writing Star Trek or writing CSI Starfleet
Space
edition.
flowers.
Yeah. 37 months.
Oh gosh.
And what's worse is that Kiva Goldsman took over and redid the whole ending.
What?
Yeah, Kiva Goldsman took over that series and he redid the whole ending.
Oh, what was the original ending? then?
I'm pretty sure
scared.
it's what that leaked ending was, because there was that leak that was like pretty accurate up until the end, and then there was like totally different ending, and then we even had some confirmation that they had reshoots, because initially instead of Riker coming in and saving the day, it was Captain Hubris, that one chick who was yelling at Picard earlier in the show, which would have made more sense if you think about it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is, yeah, but anyhow, regardless, like, that's the thing, that the problem with that is there was a skeleton of a decent idea there, but they just totally fucked it up from the get-go. Because all it had to be was Picard in the latter part of his years, he knows he's going to be dying soon, something comes up that he knows he can do something about, he gets the remaining members of his crew he can back together for one last hoorah. You have that typical scene where he stands there just like every other Star Trek movie we've had before, and in a situation where they're like, I know you could be kicked out of Starfleet for this and possibly put in prison for the rest of your life, and we may even die. So if you don't want to help me, and then everybody's like, I'll just shut the fuck up, Picard. We're wasting time.
Yeah.
That's
Let's do
that's
this.
exactly what we
Right,
wanted
right.
to see. We just wanted to see him go out in a blaze of glory and one last hoorah, because we know he's getting up in age. That's all we wanted. But yeah.
Just one last time to get the band back together.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
God.
couldn't do that.
I wish
Just-
I'd never watched that, honestly.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
I. It's honestly one of the worst and most painful things I have ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah, that's probably true. Like, I was just in stunned disbelief when they just made him a fucking robot.
Well, my initial memory, and this is me just paraphrasing off of what I remember from that leak, was the original ending was there was the Gollum body, but instead of Picard being put in there, it was Data,
Mhm.
but it was going to be a girl, so Data was going to be like take over Doge or whatever the hell her name was, or whatever.
Basically recast Brent Spiner. That would have been fine.
Right.
And I think
It would have
initially,
been better than what we got.
and I don't think he died though, and I think that was kind of like the other thing was they introduced that magic thing right at the last minute too that fixes anything.
Oh,
And that's
you
what
mean
I said.
the sex toy?
Yeah, that thing. I'm like, why didn't they use that to fix fucking Picard's brain?
God, I tried to wipe my brain of that.
Because I was waiting for crazy scientist doctor lady to be like, I can use that to fix your brain, Picard. And she never did. No,
Yeah.
instead they put him in a body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, Crispy, we're done. I'm gonna make it stop. Sorry.
God.
Yeah, it's just so bad.
That is until season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, if we can count on Bad Robot to do anything, it's just make it worse.
Well, just the whole idea in the end, it made no sense whatsoever. And we brought it up a million times over. And we're still waiting for Gary's reviews on that. I know that's an ongoing joke. So
That was such a dumbass ending. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to come in conjunction with season 2.
well, he's like avoiding it.
I can't blame him.
Can I just say that? Can I just say that flowers attacking the starships was like the stupidest moment I've ever seen?
That was glorious.
I wonder what the hell they were inhaling or smoking.
Yeah, what the fuck were
It
they
was not
smoking?
the good stuff, and it definitely was not cocaine. Okay.
Yeah, but it was definitely plant-based. That's for certain.
What the fuck is going on?
And this is what you come up with.
Plants. in
It
space.
reminded me more, those plants, you know what they reminded me more of, actually? Not to get too far down a rabbit hole. They reminded me of the vicious vagina flowers from The Wall more than anything.
What?
You ever seen The Wall, the movie, The Wall, Pink Floyd?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I have. I did.
I
Okay,
don't think
well,
I
there's the orchids or whatever that trick trick the. It's supposed to be an analogy or whatever for a woman's vagina sucking in a guy and be, taking over their lives. And like that's what it reminded me more of than anything. But yeah, anyway, like I said, rabbit hole.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I like Mr. Tickles. I was like, and thanks. That's knowledge. Well, I'm just saying, maybe Kurtzman's got a thing. I don't know. We know he has a type for as far as men, but every guy he has on the show looks the same. You can't tell them apart. Spock looks like the guy in Picard, looks like the guy in the other show.
Yeah, this is actually true.
That's true. And they also make it extra irritating with, the captain having holograms that look like himself. So we were extra confused for no reason. Like, why?
Each one with a different accent or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why? Why did you do that? Could you not afford another actor? Fuck's sake. Get the guy from Voyager. He was a great EMH.
Yeah, that was, well, they probably thought
it's like, it
actually makes no sense.
I don't blame you, Megs, and I apologize.
Has Mags not seen Picard, or are the memories just too painful?
Or The Wall, one of the three. Who knows?
Yeah, it's pretty.
And who hasn't seen The Wall? There's something wrong with you. That's a masterpiece.
Yeah, but speaking of masterpiece, some of Lorena's comments definitely fall into that category. But you have somewhere that you need to be.
Yep, I gotta get back to the grind.
But we always love it when you get to drop in and hang out with us for a little bit. And of course, we'll see you Monday for sure on Toxic Femininity. But do you have anything that you've got going on you want to plug real quick while you're on your way out the door?
Sure. Actually, two things. Earlier today at 12 noon Eastern, I had a live stream with Runner Studios. He's an up and coming YouTuber. So I got to interview him today. So please do go check him out. Especially, we had a lovely discussion about Mortal Kombat.
Oh, nice.
Mortal Kombat movie. Yes. So it's a very excellent discussion. So please do check that out.
Is Chun-Li in it though?
I think someone in the chat asked about that just to be funny. But also on Sunday, of course, is my Welcome to Florida live stream where we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff in the state of Florida. And Sunday, we're actually going to be going over some footage and pictures from the Simpsons section of Universal Studios Orlando.
Oh, interesting.
As I will be going there next week sometime. So we're going to talk all about that. And
is that Universal LA or Florida that you're going to?
Florida,
okay. Yeah, because I've been in the Simpsons section of Universal in LA.
Well, now you get to see the Florida one.
It was awesome. So I look forward to seeing it. Seriously, I can't wait to go back again.
I remember when the Simpsons were actually awesome.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I like it there at Universal in Florida for now is that it is the non-woke version, literally. When you go there, everything from the Quickie Mart to Cletus's Chicken Shack. That's in the quick spot.
Bart's got a gun.
Bart's got, I think so, somewhere.
No, I'm joking.
No, one of them he does, and of course at the Quickie Mart you can actually buy the name tag that says Bort. So I got some.
We're out of Bort name tags. Back when the Simpsons
yeah, that's what I have going on. So as usual, thank you so much. I love dropping in here when I get a chance. And thank you guys so much for checking out the stream. So please do hit the like button while you're watching.
Listen to this lady. She knows what she's talking about.
Okay, bye everyone. Bye, Undoomed.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Excellent. See you around. Take care. Yes, all right. Perfect. Let's see. We have some Red Sonja news for you all.
We do.
And then we'll come with some Conan recommendations as was earlier requested. But before then, we have some more super chats. Parents Blaine, my countryman, sent another 50 Norwegian krona. Tusen takk igjen. Captain Picard is the flagship captain of the Federation, and Federation captains look up to the flagship captains with respect.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's how it should be. No, not
Yeah.
anymore. Now they need to be told off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Fucking
good
hubris.
thing, but that's how it is.
Sheer fucking hubris.
And Stephen Alton says, every time someone describes the plot of Picard, I think I'm either having a stroke or I'm imagining the whole conversation.
It's fucking insane, right?
Yeah. I guess that's the feeling they were going for.
Yeah, must have been. There's no other explanation for it.
Yeah.
And Hypergiver 2 says, happy Killdozer Day. I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. No, that's a
Very true.
quote that can be interpreted in many directions.
Indeed.
And Straight White Mage says the real Jean-Luc is continued in the novels, married to Beverly with their young son. Also, that drunken wretch is not my 7 of 9.
Oh
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's some shits.
Yeah. That's like not even supported by canon. Like, what the fuck? She couldn't even process alcohol.
Yeah, no, it's
And she's a
but
lesbian.
again,
now.
they don't care too much about
It comes in
canon,
lesbian
okay.
flavor now.
Yeah, that's the reverse gay therapy.
Yeah.
Evidently, if you get away from the Borg for so long, that's what happens, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
but again, we were told
crazy.
that the default preference for anyone in the universe of Star
Baseline
Trek is to be baseline by. Yeah, that's the baseline. But moving on with some classic super chats before we get into Red Sonja. So that should be a real.
Which, let me say something about that baseline buy thing. It wouldn't be a problem if they weren't shoving this virtue. Like, normally I'd be like, yeah, and because normally I get what they're saying with that. Like, by that time in the future, to be gay, straight, bi wouldn't be like that big of a deal to where most people would just kind of be raised in this ideal.
I thought we were almost there now. But
Right.
then things just made a huge U-turn.
Right. Like my whole point is like, Riker would be one of those guys, even though he's a manly man. Like, yeah, I'm sure he dabbled, like,
Right.
and it wasn't a thing, like
Nobody
like
cared.
Exactly. Like, that's my point, is like, it wouldn't be anything that anybody would bring up or bat an eye at or think twice about. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then moving on, Infinity Flare says they teased Q for season 2. Why would Q be interested at all in Picard now that he is an android? And this is a good point, because Picard is dead. That android that we see is just a replica. It's not him. His soul ain't there. That's not Picard. There's absolutely no reason.
Unless this whole thing was a test. I can hope, and we can hope.
We can hope for that. That Q is going to snap his fingers and say, haha, gotcha. That's the only way to salvage it at this point.
Or
oh my god, that's what they're going to do. Is
or the only reason they
first episode is
I would
be
love
like,
it.
oh, I'm going to turn you back into a human.
Well, I was going to say they won't undo what happened before, but what they will do is that Undoomed. Exactly. The whole season is going to be about them going from, by the end of the season, it'll be, yeah, by the way, now you're human again. You're no longer an android. Exactly. Like, that's the only reason they need Q. Otherwise, why would you bring Q in? Because they're not going to undo what they did already. We know that.
No, but they could like try to mitigate it like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an easy way out. And then Scott sends in £5 here. We can bring that up on screen. Says, is there no love for Admiral Janeway, the best female captain and admiral in my opinion? Yeah, she gets a lot of love, but I'm sure Nickelodeon's going to fuck with that. And I know, like, hasn't she gone like a little crazy online with the whole politics stuff? But I don't know. Haven't they all anyway? I don't know anymore. So,
well, if they want a career,
I mean, are you talking about the actor or the
actress? Yeah,
yeah.
The character's going to be destroyed by Nickelodeon because she's going to be in that cartoon.
Oh, well,
yeah. So abandon.
I don't care about that one.
Yeah, nobody cares. See, that's where I wouldn't care if they'd have done some stupid shit in a cartoon. Then nobody cares and pays attention. But joining us now is the one, the only Polly. How you doing?
Hey, Paulie, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm here to talk about my platform.
Oh yeah.
excellent.
Okay.
Are you
That's
using your
serious
platform
business.
for virtue signaling, though?
I'm here to talk about my platform shoes.
Oh, your platform shoes. Are they from 1976?
That is so like wrong of you to ask.
That's
Oh yeah,
that's
never
racist.
ask a man the age of his shoes. I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you just have to compliment them. You have to compliment his shoes so that
Well,
you
they
I
Goldfish
love
have
the dead
feelings.
goldfish in them. They're amazing, and you can see the skeletons now.
Right. Well, I
That
mean,
is-
if they're from '77, they'd be just as old as Star.
They're like
Wars.
congealed.
My goldfish were called Jose and Chewy. I miss them, but they're with me still.
Those things were such a bad fad. They killed so many fish with those.
Did people actually do that?
Yes, they did. Sadly,
Really?
it was a fad for like 10 seconds, and yeah, it was so bad.
Oh my god.
Like, you had people killing fish. It was horrible.
Wait, what's this?
They had there was during the platform shoes era, there was these fucking clear platform shoes in the bottom that they were basically like little baby fish tanks. So idiots would put fucking fish in them, and they would sell them like this. And then, like, within a matter of like an hour or two, the fish would die from lack of oxygen or being jostled around. So you'd end up walking around by the end of the night with a bunch of dead fish in your feet.
This is the first time I've heard of this.
Oh,
insanity.
just look it up online.
Well, I mean, I've heard about it, but I was never sure if it was real.
Oh yeah, it was real.
Well, it sounds so just stupid enough that it might be.
It didn't last long, obviously.
Yeah.
Paul, you should probably remember some of that. You were like, what, 5 maybe when those came out? 6?
You ageist.
I am.
I'm trying to like keep muted because I have
All I can say, Andre, is
Washing
cocaine
machine
is one
running.
hell of a fucking drug.
Yeah, evidently. Evidently, it must
Made
be.
a lot of people do a lot of stupid shit. Anyway, yes, that is real. It is.
So
real.
what did I miss? I just got here. What's going on?
Oh, we're just talking about Picard, but we got to sadly get past that. I should say sadly. We're catching up on super chats, and then we're going to talk a little Red Sonja, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. I hope.
Yeah, let's get out of here, man.
Yeah.
We're going to get some
let's-
tacos.
So weekend. What's up, Undoomed?
Oh, I'm just chilling, having fun. How about you?
Taking care of Mrs. Slant. She's on the mend. Everyone's doing good here.
Well, I didn't want to
That's
say what
good.
was going on, but
Good.
yeah, hopefully
That's
she's
all right.
feeling better. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Polly's been dealing with Mrs. Slant
Yeah.
being sick. So
If anything, everyone, please send out some big prayers. I mean, it was the second jab, and it just knocked her. I mean, like it was like scary, knocked her out for 24 hours, and then
she got the coma.
just now
Oh.
today, like she was able to walk and do a couple things, but now she's back
Damn.
on. I know, man.
Wow.
So yeah. So
Which brand was that?
I'm sorry.
Did
Which
she get the
brand?
Pfizer or the other one?
Yeah, which brand was that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't. I don't even want to say all these weird names. and
Gotcha.
stuff.
All right.
Right.
But and she's a healthy woman. She's it's just the
Right.
first one's fine, and I was just like, well. So yeah, it was really crazy yesterday, and today's a lot better. And that's just the way it goes. So
Well, hopefully she gets back up and running sooner than later.
yeah,
Yeah.
guys. So, but you know what? These are
Thankfully,
good problems to have, Undoomed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it's better now. So, thank God for that, huh?
Yeah, and I could be here for my mate, for my woman. You know what I mean?
Well, what really sucks
Oh,
is
yeah.
she mainly
Fuck
had to
yeah.
do it for
That's-
work too, probably. So
You got to take care of your woman, man.
But Fantastic Dimension, not to change the subject real quick, says I just telling you, Andre, just go watch I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker by Keenan Ivan Wayans, and you'll see the fish tank platform shoes. Hilarious. Yeah, they do exist.
Yeah, no, again, it sounded just stupid enough that it would have to exist.
Yeah. Crazy 70s, huh?
And then Paul is playing come in with another 100 Norwegian kronas.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Iron Maiden should make the Highlander soundtrack of the new film. P.S. Love from half Norwegian, quarter English, quarter Scottish. Love from Norway. Take. Yeah, he sent that yesterday too. By the way, Andre, when you weren't here, we got.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it. But yeah, so proper Highlander there with the best of everything. So yeah.
I don't know about the Iron Maiden. I just say use the Queen songs, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
And there's a lot of good well wishes going out to Mrs. Slant in the chat. So thank you for that, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna send. I'll make a little note right now. But it's like I think about when your discussion earlier, and you know, and the definitions of woke and these wokosos and you know la madre and all that stuff, and I think about how you were talking about earlier about like just that handout mentality that you know,
yeah.
And then I think about like my daily grind, you know, and I don't want to get too deep here. Andre, I apologize, but it's connected to the mental and emotional state of these people nowadays, and that they don't want to show up for the real shit that life throws at us every day. You know, they just want to run away, point the blame on someone else, you know, and don't want to take responsibility, don't want to take care of their lives. And you know, it's I apologize. I think my point is that the rewards of being there for other people, really being there for other people, is so much greater than causing destruction of other people and canceling other people. There's nothing more degrading that you can do than to put down another human being that you don't even know. And it breaks my heart. It upsets me. I get ticked off like you guys, you know, but all I can do in my real world is, okay, I got to take care of my side of the sidewalk here. Yeah. And wokosos, y'all need to really wake up, because I'm not woke, I'm awake. And there's a big difference.
You're right, Paulie, and I agree with you 100%, except for Alex Kurtzman. Fuck that guy. But anyway, no.
Well,
no,
listen,
I just had to go for that.
We're not pushovers. We're not pushovers.
Right.
Say that.
I mean, it's a massive cliche. Whatever. What's his name? Jordan Peterson says, but he always says that the only thing that'll fulfill you is taking responsibility.
I swear, most people who shit on him have never actually listened to what he fucking says.
No, of course
probably not.
Because when I listen to him, he sounds like one of the, I wouldn't say smartest guys ever, but he's like the most logical guys ever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I listen to him, I'm like, yeah, I may not agree with everything he's saying, but
yeah, he's not always right, but he's got some good points.
I mean, I don't even think
a lot of
people
flack for no good reason. But anyway, so go ahead, Paulie. My bad.
I mean, and then let's go back, you know, and just, you know, people don't even do those people really know what responsibility is? The concept, the daily
probably
practical concept of
like,
let's talk about our freedoms. It's like that's a huge responsibility. We are so fortunate in this country, right?
Yeah,
practice our freedoms, you know, and that's a responsibility. And you know, and it comes with also a massive amount of compassion and tolerance, which we don't always like to practice.
No, and I think that goes perfectly with the statement that Ivan says here. You'll never agree with everything another person says. Get over it.
Nice.
Thank you. That's you know, and that's the biggest problem is as soon as you hear somebody say something that you disagree with, there's this instant reaction to, oh, damn that
unsubscribed.
Yeah, unsubscribe, cancel,
unsub. Clean your room. You're absolutely right. Make your bed, dog. You know, I mean,
go get the cat, not just pet him when he's laying there and saying, "Come and get me so you can feed me." I'm responsible for that fucking cat. I got to take care of him. So,
yeah,
you know,
I decided to adopt him in this world. It's my fault. Yes, and it tells us, can we get an F for Alex Kurtzman?
Poor Alex.
Anyway, you were saying, sorry, Polly.
No, I was gonna go into a joke, but
No, go ahead, please. I love jokes. You know that.
that was one of those like language jokes. I
Please.
decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow.
Yeah.
If I fail, if I succeed, come on, because the greatest
gift of all. Sex with chocolate.
Sex with chocolate.
I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Talk about segue, Andre.
He's
you
just like what
lost?
the fuck is going on here? No, we got
I'll give them
classic
30
super
more
chats.
seconds before
We got classic super chats we got to get to. So
That woke up.
yeah. I'm just going to refresh.
we're getting a lot of F's for Alex Kurtzman, though.
Oh yeah, that's
Good.
a very popular sentiment right there. So I'm just going to refresh because I know there are a couple of ones that
Yeah, and then we got to do Hyper
miss.
Guyver's getting impatient. He's like, "Get to Red Sonja," and we understand, man. We understand.
Yeah,
man.
a couple of super chats, and we're going to get straight into Red Sonja.
Sorry, Hyper Guy. I apologize.
And then the Steven Sana says the TNG cast is immensely political on Twitter. I can't tolerate any of them. Best thing you can do with that is just don't follow them, don't look at them, because that way you're still able to enjoy TNG, hopefully.
Right. There's an old saying called "Don't meet your heroes."
Yeah, and that absolutely could be one good example of.
Unless your hero's Robert Shea, then do it.
Yeah, then do it. Absolutely.
Or Clint Howard.
Yeah, he's also awesome from what I hear.
Clint Howard will smoke pot with you.
Yeah. And Twiggy McStumpwhistle sent us 2 super chats. First one saying, "Greetings. Why do you all think corporations and studios change franchises into something they never were while adding in the cringe woke propaganda?" And then, P.S. I believe in cause and effect. Makes me wonder if some studio figureheads are getting paid behind the scenes. And if so, by whom? And yeah, those are actually very good questions, because usually there are 2 reasons. One is that either the studio heads have been deluded by activists who tell them this is what people want now, so we have to get in on that. Or it comes from the money man, that the money man says that we will fund this and that with so and so much, but then you have to put in this and that message. And where does the money come from in those cases? Sometimes it's, or traditionally, it's been from Chinese hedge funds. Other times it's been from various NGOs. That's all I will say about that. And then The Wall says, Clerks, Man on Fire, Office Space. What do these have in common? Movies that cannot be made today. However, hopefully tomorrow. Always hope.
Yeah, that's
indeed.
a good point. You
Man
can
on
add
Fire.
a lot of movies to that.
Love Man on Fire, man. Oof.
Couldn't even make Scarface the same. We just had that conversation.
Yeah.
I'll save it for another.
Yeah.
And Full Metal Smile sent us a $5 Canadian super chat with no message or message redacted by this platform. But thank you for the support in any event. Thunderstorm says J.J. Abrams and the last franchise. And we got this one. Dash D says topic minus rails equals Midnight's Edge. So yeah, thanks for that, I guess.
Yeah, we grabbed that one.
Yeah, I think we heard that one.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just. And Thunderstorm, also in conjunction with Lord of the Rings, one Soviet ring to rule them all, which is a strangely good point in some sense. And just browsing through.
Oh well, Bezmenov was right.
Yeah. And The Wall says, koalas in the rain? Other guy, hey, you stole that from us. Midnight's Edge, to appropriate is to appreciate. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And Rambam 3000 said Sir Ian McKellen was fighting for real gay rights more than a decade before these people were born. Yeah, he did indeed.
Yeah.
And
Can I say something really quick about
yeah,
that?
go for it, real quick.
I mean, Ian McKellen, I mean, what an OG. You know, when I don't know if it was his husband at the time. I remember a couple of years in a row where he was nominated back, 20 years ago for Gandalf, which he should have won. He was right there with his man. How beautiful was that? End of story.
Yeah, and nobody cared. It was fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I cared because I like that people can be who, can
All
be
right.
happy,
Okay. Yeah,
right?
but you know what I mean.
It wasn't about,
nobody was pissed off at him being there with his guy.
Well, and it had nothing to do with his performance being nominated, right? It was just, it was, and what I'm saying is that like that type of display is authentic, not as souveniristic as it is now. It's all souvenirs, Anyway.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't remember which actress it was. It was some actress on Twitter today. It's like, oh, she came out as bi and she was lauded. Like, oh, great! Like you and a gazillion others. Like, is that what we're lauding people for? Can you at least laud them for being good actresses or actors? Like what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just I'm with you, man. And there just seemed that with Ian, being such an older gentleman, just the life he's led.
He could be lauded because he actually made difference. He didn't just come out. He fought for that shit.
Yeah, I mean. So anyway, yeah, it's just such a different world now.
Yeah, it's just about your identity. That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much. And then moving on with the super chats before we get into Red Sonja. Granwasu42 says the information site Gary and JSG used, theonering.com, is a fan shill site. And Dash Attack continues with what they said to just some guy was atrocious. And then we have our good friend Mike, the Mexican Iron Man, who says YouTube deleted my super chat text. See below if you want to read. If not, it's okay. And for the chat peeps to wonder. Yeah, I wonder too, because I don't see that below anymore. But thank you in any event. And then David Stout says, Andre, do you think Silje Torp in Norseman, would she make a great Red Sonja? And have you seen Norseman and liked it? Where can I listen to your read? Well, many questions in there. What he's referring to is a Norwegian series about Vikings called Norsemen. That's the international title for it. Actually, they filmed 2 versions of it. First, they filmed it with Norwegian actors talking Norwegian, and then they redid the scene after filming the Norwegian scene, where they also film in English. So it filmed bilingual. I think it's on Netflix, called Norseman. It looks incredibly authentic. It has some fun moments, but I'm not a huge fan of it because it's not a serious series. It's like a satire. I think there are good parts of it, but overall, I don't like it. It's like, when you had those actors, like, couldn't you just have done it serious, done it for real, instead of making a fucking parody? So no, I'm not a huge fan of it. Silje Torp is fantastic in it. She's a great Viking shield maiden. I would not have liked her for Red Sonja. She's a little bit too old for it, and she has a little bit too rough features. So no, not my Red Sonja. And then he wonders, where can I listen to your read? Then, of course, he wonders about my read of Norse mythology. Just be a channel member. it's on the Chrome tier of channel members. They are the ones that exclusively get my readings of Norse mythology, and a new one will be out in the next few days. And then on the topic of Red Sonja, let's now finally get into that. Tom, do you have the story? Because we have a rumor that is coming to us from the Illuminati. And the rumor that they are presenting is that Sacha Baron Cohen has been offered the role of the villain in the movie. And this is just a rumor. It is not yet confirmed. He has not yet signed on. All they're saying is that the studio has approached him and they have offered him the role of Kulan Gath. So if he were to accept, he would then portray the villain of Kulan Gath next to, I forget the name of the lady who has been announced as Red Sonja herself, but of course she's a black woman. So, so much for Red Sonja. What I will say, though, is that the role of Kulan Gath, that's an original...
Hannah John Kamen.
Yeah, that's her name, yeah. Anyway, the role of Kulan Gath, that's a sorcerer that first appeared in Marvel's Conan the Barbarian comics. And because of that, and then he's later been associated with Red Sonja as well. So that's a character that there are dual rights for right now. Dynamite, I believe, can use him in the Red Sonja comics, and Marvel can use him in their own comics, which they do. He's the enemy in the ongoing Savage Avengers series, in which Conan the Barbarian is fighting in the modern day Marvel Comics universe. And I think that Sacha Baron Cohen in that role is actually dream casting. I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen, he can be really creepy if he wants to be. So will that alone make the movie better if everything else is wrong? No, but that is pretty stellar casting right there.
I was going to say, yeah, this is like trying to put lipstick on a pig at this point.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we don't know the direction of the movie itself. We don't know exactly where they're going to go.
Wait, can Sacha Cohen Baron be creepy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a good actor. Do not underestimate his skills as an actor.
Okay.
I was actually upset that he didn't play Freddie Mercury because he was originally cast, but he wanted to go R-rated and the band wouldn't allow it, so he left.
Yeah.
And at first I was dead set. Yeah, I was dead set against Rami Malek until after I saw the movie. But anyhow, he's like a chameleon.
Yeah, as an actor, I think he's incredible.
Okay. I only know him from Borat, so I don't know what else has he been in.
Yeah, he played the
Sweeney Todd. He was in Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby was the French
the French guy in that.
The French race car driver.
There's been a couple other things he's been into, but I can't remember because he kind of just gets in the roles and you forget or don't realize it's him until after the fact.
Exactly, and he's in a spy drama on Netflix. I forget the series. Maybe
he was great in Hugo.
Yeah. And the spy series on Netflix, which is based on a real story of an Israeli spy, he's in that. So no, do not underestimate Sacha Baron Cohen as just
as an actor.
Yeah,
for me.
All right.
Personal politics, not speaking on, but
let's not get into that. But as an actor, he's really, really good, and him as Kulan Gath. When I see this, I'm like thinking, damn, now they can't use him in the Netflix Conan series.
I mean, that's where,
but I would have liked to see him there instead.
Yeah. That's where Borat came from, was the Ali G show. Did you ever see that one on HBO, Undoomed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole right now with Andre Carries. I agree with you, and if there's anybody who would probably be able to do anything like that, it would be him.
He was in the running at one point,
and they should have picked him. I love Steve Martin from Here to the Moon, but he was the wrong casting.
He was.
And
Yeah,
those
yeah.
movies
They
are
needed-
fucking horrid anyway. But
Yeah, one of the takes that they had early on actually was that they would do a soft reboot of the son of the Pink Panther and have Sacha Baron Cohen play the son of Clouseau.
I like him in the. I like the
that
first
they were
Borat.
having, and it would have been brilliant. He would have been so good as that. So it's such a shame that didn't happen.
what'd you say, Paulie?
Oh, I thought the first Borat was.
Oh yeah, the first
seminal.
Borat's hilarious.
Seminal, man.
The second one, not so much. I liked the girl that played his daughter in it or whatever. She was great, but
And she was really
the
good.
movie overall was just kind of like
Yeah, it was kind of already old hat for me.
Yeah.
yeah. You
good.
can't do the same thing that he did with the first one again.
No. And that one TV show he did recently, what was that called?
I can't
It was
remember.
on HBO. That was out of control, man. Some of his bits were just like, how did he get away with that?
Again, if he'd stay out of the political crap, he'd be great. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think he can do anything.
But as far as the whole
Range.
thing with Red Sonja, like I haven't been, my excitement went out the window with this whole thing the way it's been going since they brought in the new people involved. Well, even I was even kind of tangentially like, with Singer involved. At least then I thought it was okay hands, but he's kind of probably gone off the deep end now with all the personal shit he's dealing with anyway. So whatever, that's neither here nor there on that part. But what they got going now on with this, I'm not on board. This is cool, but it's like a waste. Like I said, lipstick on a pig at this point. Sorry, Andre. I know I'm holding out hope, but
I don't really. It's not going to be Red Sonja, because here's like the thing: the writer and the director, they're all about gender identity and gender bending issues, and then they have an actress who would have been fantastic as Baylet, but not as Red Sonja. So yeah, in that sense. Yeah, it's putting lipstick on a pig because it's not going to be a Red Sonja anyway. We can hope that it's something good. But if they get him as cool and goth, my God, how great that could be.
Is this still the same one, Andre, with where they didn't cast a ginger or whatever?
yes, that's what I was saying.
No, Red Sonja obviously should be a ginger.
The one
the
Cayman chick that's playing Red Sonja is the chick from Ant-Man.
Yeah, the one who played the ghost there.
I liked her in that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, she's good. She's good, and she.
That's not the point. Yeah,
yeah, she would have been great if she would have been Baylet in a Conan series, because she is just right for that.
Well, for me, Tom, when I say that, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to give it a chance. Whereas if I think she's a bad actor and doesn't look like the character, and I'm like,
well, it's not just that; it's that plus the people behind it. They're not this what we see here on screen is not what we're going to get.
No,
we're going to get more like that heavy metal deal we talked about the other day.
Yeah, fully dressed to avoid the male gaze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
God.
No, they actually said that.
Yeah, of course they did. I mean, you can't have fans enjoy shit. That'd be crazy.
So I'm just kind of against the whole idea in general, Paulie. It's not even the actress is fine. Like I enjoyed her in Ant-Man and Wasp. Actually, Andre can, I think, back me up on this. I was one of the few people who kind of liked that movie. I don't remember giving it a bad review at all.
Which one? No,
the Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh, Ant-Man. Oh, that one. I've forgotten it.
Yeah, I remember. I liked it, but yeah.
If you're saying she's not going to look like how she's drawn there, then
she's
I'm
not.
with.
No, and I guarantee you, they'll change the character quite a bit. She's going to be completely Wokoso.
Wokosa.
Wokosa.
Wookie.
No, Wookie. We're taking it back.
Yeah. No, I mean, she's the girl from Killjoys, right?
I think so. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but anyway, no.
I'm sure she's a great actress.
She's a fine actress. She's a fine actress, and she would have been great as Baylet, which is Conan's first love. She looks just like that, and she would have been perfect for it. But not
Speaking of
as
Conan,
yeah.
before we get into super chats, you were going to give us some Conan recommendations on how to get into it.
Yes, I was. Because we got a super chat request earlier for Conan comic book recommendations, and actually there are.
And if they're uncensored.
For uncensored, then you want to avoid the traditional Marvel Conan the Barbarian comics from the 70s, like the mainstream ones that were like in the all ages Comics Code Authority approved. Those are the ones that you want to avoid then. What you want instead, that I would suggest that you seek out, is like go with the real classics right away, which is the original 70s Savage Sword of Conan. See if you can pick up a compendium with like the first 20 stories or something like that.
Wasn't there a website where a bunch of them or all of them are out for free, Andre? Or am I thinking of something?
No, that was on Comixology, and that was they weren't for free, but they were on an offer, and this was right before Dark Horse was about to lose the license to Marvel. Then they had like a fire sale on everything, so that as many people as possible would pick them up to devalue the catalog for Marvel, because they weren't happy about losing the license.
So start with Savage Sword if that's what you want, is the uncensored.
The original Savage Sword, and I emphasize like the first like 50 comics of that, then you're in good hands. But that's not the only place. There are so many. Dark Horse, they also did their own reboot in 2004, and the first few paperbacks of this is also really good. Marvel is reprinting them as Conan Chronicles. That's what Marvel is calling those stories. So check those out. They're also really, really good. And finally, it's the current Marvel comics by Jim Sub. Then you want to start with the paperback Into the Crucible. So I would recommend those. But my first one is the Savage Sword of Conan from the 70s, written by Roy Thomas. And also, any Savage Sword of Conan, also written by Chuck Dixon, is also amazing. Beyond that, if it's not written by those two, then don't. Yeah. And Jason Gallagher also says that they have repeated the Dark Horse comics as an omnibus, 1,000 pages. Yeah, that's like the Conan Chronicles. Is what they call that, the Dark Horse comics. And Gran Wasu 42 also wonders, what about the books? Yeah, of course, if you want the original, like those were the comics. But any true fan, of course, should, of course, read the original stories. But actually, I like to recommend the comics first, because they're much easier to get into, to get like a feeling of, do you like this or don't you like this? Whereas getting into the original stories right away is a much higher investment. But of the books, then you want to get the Del Rey editions and just read them in the order of publication. And
those are the ones where they don't have anything added or subtracted from.
Yes, no, those are the complete original stories. Yeah. Actually, you can't even get the those that have anything subtracted. You can't get them anymore. They're out of print, all of them.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to make sure that, because I remember that from the from the documentary.
Like sometimes things change in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Basically from the 50s to the 90s, you couldn't get the original unaltered stories. All you could get were the edited and rewritten stories. Nowadays, it's completely flipped. The only thing you can get is the original stories.
Well, for now,
the reprinted are completely out of print.
I wouldn't be surprised when they start messing with shit. Those are stories to get messed with too. And they start re-editing history again.
Yeah,
they already kind of have started.
Yeah, but even those stories would be extremely problematic because they weren't made, shall we say, less problematic in the rewriting.
No. I mean, they'll just start editing what we have now. They'll take out the stuff they see as problematic.
This is true. And we got a couple of new members. David Stout became a member of the channel, so thank you so much for that. And so did Kitty Bear Transracial Orc. Is also a new member. So welcome.
Nice name, Kitty Bear.
Yeah, Kitty Bear is cool, man.
Yeah.
Good dude. Hey, Kitty Bear.
And David Stout says Becky Lynch or Rose Leslie as Red Sonja. Thanks. Yeah, okay, decent ideas, I
Probably
guess.
both probably would be better than the choice we got, but yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
Then
it's not anything against the actress.
Get that girl from Star Wars Solo.
Shit, what's her
Oh my
name?
God.
I've never seen a more ginger person in my life.
I can't think of her name.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know her name.
they might as
Khaleesi.
well have.
Sorry,
Khaleesi.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Khaleesi, I think, but
No,
I have no idea what her name is, but
the black one with the huge ginger hair, right? That's who you're referring to.
Yeah,
right?
are you
that
talking about Enfant's Nest or whatever?
Princess Ness,
I
and
have
she was
no
also
idea
in,
what her name is. But there was like a ginger in that thing that she was in a mask and she took off that thing.
That's
It's
her.
like,
That's her.
yeah,
And she was also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She was the head of the face with flag burners, or whatever the hell they're called, smashers.
Yeah, that's her.
They're
right.
not terrorists.
Oh, do better, Tom.
Yeah, they're not terrorists, although they completely and totally are in every sense of the word. But yeah,
They may get their way with acts of terror. That does not mean they're terrorists. Okay,
Okay.
they're
You can do
using
better,
their
Tom.
platform.
My platform choose.
With the
Yeah.
dead fish.
Make you 6 inch taller.
yeah. And then David Stout also says, before he became a channel member, sorry, Andre, I can't afford Chrome tier. I got very little money and from the government due to my autism and living in assistance living. Love you guys. Oh, thank you. And don't worry about it at all, because even at lower tiers, we're still going to send the odd extras to all members, regardless of tier. Including an unedited Cameron Pasha interview. So
We've made sure that all of our members have been able to benefit from being a member. And if there's something that you want that you don't have access to, get a hold of me personally, and I'm sure there's something we can figure out to make sure. We just had to do certain levels at the thing when they set it up. And we just wanted to make sure that there was something that was affordable and whatnot. And, and at the same time, for those who give that are able to do more, that we want to be able to give more, but we don't want to make it so exclusive that, you feel like you're being left out. So yeah, if you're definitely somebody who is a member and you feel like there's something you don't have access to that you would like to, just get a hold of me personally and I'll do my best to work something out. We always have ways around it. And like even our Patreon members know what I'm talking about, because there's different tiers and levels there too. And we deal with the same kind of stuff there. So,
yeah. And also Hypergiver 2 says, if you want to get into Conan comics, go to Amazon and look up the Marvel Epics collection. They have both Savage Swords and the Roy Thomas series. So yeah, there are many collections to get into there. Absolutely is. And then that's the end of Super Chats I can bring up on screen. So then we're back to the classics.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish up the whole thing. Like the whole members thing has more to do with the whole tier system thing. But like as far as like the videos, I don't think we're so much worried about that as normally. But no, we do our best to make sure you get your money's worth. Hopefully,
yeah. And then Hurin the Steadfast says, in the new Jurassic Park, the raptors are wearing lab coats and are doing the gene spool.
No shit.
Looking forward to
while
that.
Doing sign language.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Ben Graciano says for $5.
Did you say you're triggered?
I'm triggered now, Andre.
Oh well, that's
sorry.
Sucks for you.
Interrupted the super chat. You were saying,
Polly or me?
You, Andre.
No, you, Andre.
We interrupted the super
we
chat.
interrupted you.
Anyway, Ben
that.
Graciano was saying slave labor. You mean how Apple gets all its products made? People haven't forgotten, they just ignore it. Yeah, yep. Apple regrettably aren't the only ones. And Aris says for €5, I am a German archaeologist working in a leading institution, and I work exclusively in a depot. We haven't properly researched the stuff from 100 years ago. This is an earlier one, and yeah, that's what I mean. There's
there is so much archaeology. There's so much left to discover. That's just waiting to be discovered. Like, we haven't even fully excavated Göbekli Tepe, which is unbelievable. That's a site in Turkey that completely rewrites the origins of humanity. Like, it completely throws established history out the window. And it's just sitting there, and they're not excavating it.
There was a man here before you, and he was better than you.
Actually, yeah, kind of. That's exactly what it shows.
I was quoting
part
Planet
of
of
the
the
reason
Apes,
why.
but yeah.
Yeah, I know it was a quote from the Planet of the Apes, but actually, that's not a bad comparison. Obviously, it was humans there, but like the level of sophistication.
You
there.
blew it up. Damn you all to
At the
hell.
time when established history says that we should all be like Stone Age people hanging in the trees, then yeah.
And Charlton Heston would like to welcome Dark Thrawn fan. He became a member.
Thank you, Darth Thrawn.
Thank you. And David Stout's just making it rain, buddy. Holy cow. Here he goes. You got one that says, read comic online. Has all comic and read Sonja book. So readcomiconline.li is the link. There you go.
I think maybe that is one you probably shouldn't be promoting so much. I think that might be.
I can't speak to the legality of it. So, but thank David Stout for that. If that helps you out any, don't tell us. David Stout also says, thank you and love you guys eternally. Well, we love you guys too. You guys make it possible to do this show.
Well, so thank you. Yeah, and thank you, David, man. You know, for all your daily challenges. That's pretty badass, man.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolutely.
So
and then we've got Paulus Playing coming in again.
On fire today.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And he says male gaze is bad. Then female gaze, bisexual gaze, lesbian gaze, gay gaze, pansexual gaze must also be bad then. Actually, no, because you're assuming equality. And they are all about equity. And they're only exclusively the straight cisgender male gaze is bad, and just that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, their gaze is
so we have to get off this equality mindset, because they want equity, and that's very different from equality.
Yeah, their gaze is a lovely shade of.
It's like somebody who's just discovered a drug and they don't know how to regulate it. Oh my god, that computer sounded so Windows 95. What the fuck?
It's my other laptop, dude. Why giving me heat?
It legit made the Windows 95 sound.
Yeah. I'm you know what?
I was almost going to throw a La Bamba line at you, but I wasn't sure if you would pick it up right.
No, I'm trying. I'm having a hard time with an old.
It looks like something that somebody threw away.
Oh yeah, Buzz Booger.
Well, it's mine now.
It's mine now. It's my old laptop, and I'm trying to find an old Gmail password.
Oh, good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And Dark Throne fans became a YouTube member, so thank you and welcome.
Yeah, we welcome
lots of cool stuff here, and also Mags speaks for us all, saying we are just happy to have people be here and chat with us and enjoying the content that ME provides. Oh, thank you, and also we appreciate everyone here who makes this community, because it has become a community, what it is.
Absolutely, and I know it's Windows 7. I just had to say 95 because it's funnier. Anyway.
Well, Windows 95 was certainly better.
No, I know. Anyway, speaking of lovely people, we got some great super chats to get through for some very patient people. So let's comb through those.
Yes, I'm going to go through the classics, the ones that are right here. Let's see. Thunderstorm says they should combine Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Marvel, and DC into a film called The Woke Stamp Collectors. Yeah, that's a
sounds like Cartoon All Stars
right there. Yeah,
all over again.
The Rubber Band Man says, only on this Earth can Kathleen Kennedy destroy 2 franchises and keep her job. Where is Thanos when we need him with the stone? Yeah.
You know what? To go back to that other super chat, though, this is almost like it's like it's turned into Cartoon All-Stars. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, Andre, but Undoomed and Paulie might. That was the biggest bait and switch in history. We had a bunch of our favorite cartoon characters lie to us for a half hour about pot. That's kind of what this is. This is all our favorite characters lying to us about virtue signaling and all this other woke shit. And like, yeah, it's the same thing all over again. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. Moving on, Daniel says, for $10, thank you so much. In the next gen movies, Patrick Stewart envied Harrison Ford getting to be an action hero, so he turned Picard into Rambo. Now Ford is jealous that Stewart got to nuke his own legacy in the Picard series. Yeah, it'll be... it's going to be difficult to top the sad passing of Picard.
I don't know if that's the exact line of thinking, but I wouldn't put. That's probably close. Like I guarantee you, part of this was Harrison.
The first
Ford.
part was accurate, though. Like Picard definitely wanted to be an action hero.
Oh yeah, that part's true.
You know, Stewart.
But no, I think a lot of this had to do with Harrison Ford going, yeah, we got to kill this character.
Well, he did that with Solo.
Yeah, and he desperately. Well, he hated Han Solo. There's a difference here. Indiana Jones, he has a soft spot for and he loves. Han Solo, he fucking hates.
Right.
Because Indiana Jones was cool. Han Solo just got him a bunch of nerd fans. Like, and I guarantee you that's what he hated, is fans coming up to him and asking him Star Wars questions.
Yeah.
Because he even had a rule for the longest time that up until the new movies where you're not allowed to ask him Star Wars questions in interviews and shit. Like, he hated talking about it.
Oh, man, those nerd girls must have been ugly back then, huh?
There probably wasn't very many of them, but there was a few, I'm sure. But whatever ones, they're probably married. So, Twiggy, McStumpwizzle? There I go. McStumpwizzle. Twiggy McStumpwizzle sent in $5, says, I envision the very lovely Christina Hendrick as Red Sonja. Not a bad choice. For hot awesomeness.
That would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, she also has a proven action stat. Yes, I agree.
I mean, that is just perfection. That is a bad word around here at the house with Mrs. Slant, and I got
to speak with the soft voice now.
Yeah, I get a little too crazy with her, man. And then Mrs. Slant will say, "She's just a normal person," because they work together on some shit back in the day. She's just a regular person. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but she's gorgeous.
Ain't no regular person look like that.
Shoot. Regular over here. Oh,
regular my ass.
Regulate.
Yeah, she would have been perfect.
Yeah.
That's like,
I would have watched the shit out of that.
No shit, right? Like, that's the movie we all wish would have happened.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is not the 80s.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. Or the 90s, even, for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, or even when they started Mad Men. I mean, her and Mad Men, they were not shy in showing her curves, and just that, that was what, 12 years ago? Ay Dios.
I guess that's still a different era, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's sadly a different era, so not a lot we can do about that right now. But going back to the classic super chats, we have a few left still. Hypergiver 2 said Lando and L3 can be summed up as follows: put a fleshlight on an oscillating fan. Oh yeah, there's an image for you. And Thunderstorm says #WackoVist. Don't quite get that, but okay, #WackoVist, I guess. And Gigawatt 1.21. Oh, nice. That's a cool reference. Indy will fly to the moon in a lead fridge. Only way to fly.
Get off my shuttle.
And Hurin the Steadfast says for $5 Canadian, I thought the robot was making fun of SGWs. Yeah, we got that one. I think that then we are caught up with the classics there.
I think we had like 2 or 3 more come in,
Yeah. Sarah Cheney said, Indy should next look for the tomb of Genghis Khan. That's actually a historic mystery where that is.
I'm all for any of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Get away from the other garbage. Yeah. Like, no aliens.
Yeah.
No aliens, no moon. Fuck that shit.
Oh, you're getting the moon, though, probably. And the Tayo says, all Kathy's movie is going to fail, and we all know it. And Aris says, no Indiana Jones on the moon. They will bring that female lead, that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, to the moon. And
yeah, that might be true, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, and ActionCom says Indiana Jones was supposed to be an homage to 50s sci-fi. Yeah. That's why it tonally is different. And
not so much 50s sci-fi, but the 50s adventure serials and swashbuckler.
No. There were no serials in the 50s anymore.
That's where
ended in the 40s.
They were on TV, and that's where George Lucas misremembers shit, because he says he watched these things in the theater when he's a kid. Bullshit. He watched them on TV after school.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because that's when they were showing the serials of the 30s.
Because I've read enough on him and seen enough shit. Like, basically, I've got this picture painted in my head of George Lucas as a kid is basically Frankie from Scrooged as a kid. If you guys know what I'm talking about, where all he did was sit in front of the TV, and then you have that scene where later on he's like, I did all kinds of stuff when I was a kid. I did this. And they're like, that was the courtship of Eddie's father. Like, he's like, you remember in TV shows, you idiot. You know, like that's George Lucas. It's like he has this. He's a revisionist. He loves to amp up the story in a way that makes it more sellable.
Worked out pretty well for him in the end.
No, I'm not saying he's a liar so much in a sense of he just wanted to.
Oh, he might be, but I'm just saying it paid off.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Spielberg involved in it too, which is the other part of the puzzle. So when it comes to Indiana Jones,
I mean, he totally made the movies have that magic.
And that could have been part of the reason why Harrison was more partial to character, even though it's not so much the ensemble thing as was brought up here just a few minutes ago on screen. But it could just be that he preferred working with Spielberg, because Harrison has made it no secret that he didn't really care for working with George Lucas as a director.
Well, I don't think anyone has ever loved working with George Lucas as a director. He's known as not being an actor's director.
No, he actually got into a fight with him during the making of Star Wars.
Right.
He's like, I can't just say this shit, George. He's like, people don't talk like this. And George just didn't understand it. And he's like, I put it on the paper, just say it. He's like, yeah, but you need to give me something more than that. Like, what's my motivation kind of thing,
That's not going to come
from George don't understand George. That. Yeah. Faster, more intense. That's all George understands.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of got it by the time of the prequels.
Well, you can see it.
You can see it in the behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Like, I'll work the faster and more intent, and sometimes I forget to say action and cut. But you step in and say action and cut if I forget it.
Yeah, to his assistant director. Yeah. But I love that the beginning is the great, and that's why I don't think it's available anymore officially, is because that movie or that documentary is better than the movie. It shows the breakdown of a movie in real time. Like, it starts out, George has got these grandiose ideas, and by the end, he's sitting there literally almost pulling his hair out in the screening because he's like, oh, shit, what did I do? I can't fix this now. He says that literally like, I can't fix this now. It's like, too late.
He doesn't say it like that, but he's like
pretty close.
I may have gone too far in some
He goes,
places.
I may have gone too far in some places, and he goes, and you can't fix it now.
You can't pull this out now because it's designed this way.
It's designed, it's designed this way. They're making excuses for how crazy it is at the end, and then Ben Burt, and this is why I think Ben Burt, he's somebody that should have been there for the new movies. He's like, he comes in and he explains to George what the fucking problem is, but I'm like, Ben, where were you fucking 6 months ago? You know,
Yeah.
He's like, you got 7 things going on at once, George. You know,
Exactly. Yeah. We're going from fucking slapstick to complete tragedy to drama in 5 seconds. Okay, this is not good.
Which, and he's like, well, I can't change it now. It's designed that way. That's where he says that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have not seen the beginning, it is out there on YouTube. I do suggest you check it out.
Clips, it's also in Red Letter Media.
Yeah, they use the best clips, yes.
Yeah.
But no, just that hour and it's like an hour and 10-minute documentary. It's fucking just brilliance encapsulated. It's
and if we're on that subject, fucking do check out the making of Aliens. That is a great
there's some
documentary.
good stuff. Are you talking about the ones that are on the newer, like the DVD? Well, not newer.
No, I mean, it's on YouTube. You can get it on YouTube.
Yeah, the long ones from the DVDs and stuff like that.
Those are great. There's no filter. I mean, James Cameron is fucking pissed at James Horner and vice versa. They hate each other and they don't hide it. There's no gloss. There's no smoothing things over. They're just doing a documentary. It's great.
I'm not sure if that's the one I'm thinking of then, but I have another one too. I mean,
we can't get that now. You're never going to get a Disney documentary about how they hated each other.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's so refreshing to see that shit. They had conflict, and James Horner, he was like, this guy's a fucking idiot. He says that.
No, you got to get the independent ones for that kind of stuff now.
Yeah,
that you're never going to get that out of the studio. You got to get.
They probably have some NDA to prevent that nowadays.
Well, it's not even that so much as they would never allow stuff like that on their product now. But if you want to go find the independent documentaries that are out there, there's some great shit out there where they don't care. Like you said, the filter's off now because they don't have to worry about appeasing the studio. So that's the upside of the downside of losing a lot of special features on movies, because they used to not care so much. They used to just slap that, the comments and whatever are not the expressed opinion of whatever said company. They used to just get away with that, but now they don't even bother. They don't put any special features on there unless they're so pre-approved and sanitized. And because Robert Meyer Burnett told the great story about some of the stuff that he wasn't allowed to put on, but the best one was when they kind of basically solidified that there was a separation when they wouldn't allow him to put, he did this great interview with the cast of The Next Generation for the Next Generation Blu-rays. And he just sat down and asked him, he's like, with the J.J. Abrams movie out there and everybody's, talking recasting classic characters, who do you guys see recast in your roles? And he's like, each one went through and, of course, Patrick Stewart's like, well, I already know who they'll cast. And, he says, what's his face from First Class, McAvoy. And, and stuff like that. So, he was this great little thing. And CBS is like, that can't be on the disc. He's like, why? Why not? He's like, never the two shall meet. That means that the movie side of things should not touch the series. And that was when there was that clear separation.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't put that on the disc because of that shit. So there you go. And there's even that kind of corporate politic bullshit that gets involved. But anyway, Andre, sorry.
It's sad because I just have to interject this as well. Since we're talking about Cameron, watch The Abyss, the making of The Abyss.
Where he nearly kills people?
Yeah. It's people are crying and they're people almost kill themselves out of misery and shit. Holy shit.
He almost drowned half the cast. And
it's better than the movie.
Yeah, almost. It is. It is almost better than the movie, to be honest. I remember the making of it more than I do the movie, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's more their fault than anything because they haven't made the movie very available. I haven't seen The Abyss since I was a kid because of that. So,
but it's
a teenager at least.
An amazing documentary.
Yeah, I think I caught that on YouTube or something like that. But yeah, he almost drowned himself.
I'm pretty sure it's out on YouTube.
Oh yeah. God bless YouTube for that anyway. But Andre, sorry to go on that tangent. Did we have any more super chats that we
Yes,
had?
we have a couple of classics that we have to go through first. Thunderstorm says for $9.99, these untalented frontmen stopped robbing talented people. They actually believe they are talented, and we now get to see their work. Talent doesn't disappear, which is a very good comment. And Dash Attack also says for $9.99, know nothing about Sandman. The problem isn't Neil agreeing to change, it's his creation. The problem is the lashing out on Twitter like an ungrateful brat. Yeah, actually, I'll be doing
That's a
video
big part of
on
it.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is.
I mean, I understand, and I mean, as much as I hate the special editions, it's one of those things. Yeah, George Lucas is allowed to do what he wants to do, but the difference there compared to some of the shit we're seeing now is the virtue signaling and the going after people and the attacking people. Like George wasn't going out there going, "Oh, you ungrateful little fucks," you know.
Right. And it was his creation.
I gave you the fucking Star Wars. Take it and you'll like it, you bitch.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
Exactly. And then that was all the classic ones, but we have a couple of more recent ones. Here's one. Perilous Plane, still on fire. Tom, you have to take this one.
Whoops, hit the wrong button here. Americans, please teach this glorious Norwegian fuck Andre how to pronunciate the word debt. Love from Norway. Yeah, don't pronounce it debit. It's debt. I know it's dumb, but what can I say? No, I had to reuse that joke. Yeah, Andre has his way of pronouncing words that there's times where I've thought about correcting him, but then I'm just like, nope, it wouldn't be Andre if he didn't say it that way.
In my defense, there's a B written right there in the word. So, yeah.
I know.
You should never try out French.
Oh, God. Can't you speak some French, Andre?
Don't even get me started on French, because actually I can read a good deal of French. But
they got some extra letters in there.
No way. Like that. I can't get into or can't pronounce French if my life depended on it.
They're the masters of putting in letters that are useless.
Yeah. Well, he actually says it more like debt. Like how he said, like, I can't even do it right. That's one of the few I can't. He's just, Andre does it the way Andre does it.
Yeah.
Before Perilous, I shall try to say debt and avoid.
It just sounds wrong now when you say that.
No, that's fine.
No, I know. It's just when you hear Andre say it a million times over. And then sometimes I'm not even sure myself. I have to look up the pronunciation of words at times because I'm like, how do you fucking say that word? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, it's funny when the times when I ask you, like, how do you say this? And you don't know.
I sometimes have to. Well, my other problem is I second guess myself so much. Like, that's my other problem. So, yeah.
Right. Well, that can happen when you're, like, put on the spot.
Well, and English was never one of my better, like, it was like in the middle for me. So like, I know some, but like, you know, I know some of the grammar rules, but I don't always follow them. And then I'll second guess other grammar rules. And same thing goes for like spellings and which spelling of which word and like which one means what. And I'm always second guessing myself on that kind of crap. And I always end up fucking it up and second guessing myself into the wrong one. And I was right the first time. And yeah, Grand Admiral, I struggle just speaking English. In general, I can't barely speak one language. Andre's so bilingual, motherfucker can't keep his shit straight there. So,
Orale.
Yeah, and of course, then we have the Spanish contingent. So
yes,
yeah,
right. But do you speak Spanish?
Me?
Yes, he does.
Él habla muy bien. Habla muy bien.
I understand more than I speak. So I would say that I understand 70% of Spanish, but I don't know the grammar, so I can't like construct the sentences to reply, give proper replies. But like I have language ear enough that I can like pick up on like the stem of the words and make out most sentences. But The response is the problem.
And I'm getting chewed out by
that's good.
Hyde here. He's like, damn it, Tom, you speak English. How can you be bad at it? I was raised in the 90s. I mean, I was born in the 80s, but if anybody remembers anything about the 90s, we did not know how to speak English at all. Like, everything was fucking just crazy. No, I don't know. And then I watched too much TV. And I watched a lot of bad movies.
English from Beavis and Butthead. So,
can you highlight Joel's, and then can you read that, Tom?
Joel, which Lava tes las manos.
I understand that.
Did I say it right?
Yeah,
not quite.
good.
Well, it wasn't too
Lavate
bad.
las manos. Here.
Something with hands.
Lavate.
Lavate.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your
Right.
hands.
Wash
That
your
makes
hands,
sense.
wash your face, wash your ass.
It's reflective or reflexive.
Yeah,
So,
I'm American, not English. So
I just know a few Spanish words by osmosis.
yeah, I don't understand.
Who's Osmosis, man?
Yeah, he's a guy from Black Sabbath.
Oh, who's that vato? I love Ozzy.
Yeah, me too, man. I went to
That's pretty good,
Ozfest last year. It was awesome,
Yeah.
man.
I like that other guy, Abby Normal.
The fuck?
Oh yeah.
This sounds familiar.
Holly and I get racist as fuck when we get into this.
Okay, I got you. It's like Mel Brooks, right?
Kind of, sort. Well, it's like a Cheech and Chong making.
Who's
fun
that?
of it. Yeah, just the classic like.
Pinchy Mel.
He did the Blazing Saddle movie.
Abby Normal. That sounds Mel Brooks to me.
Yeah,
Mel-
that's
That's
from,
Young Frankenstein.
yeah.
That's Young
I
Frankenstein.
got from some lady, Abby something. Abby Normal.
Oh, shit.
Speaking of Mexican in the Espanol
He's
faction
a Mexican.
no, I know. Sorry,
He's not. You're
he's
insulting
not.
South
That is
America.
insulting because Diego's from South. I was just going to say that with the Peruvian souls, but you had to jump on me there.
I'm gonna get you, boy.
He's going to get me. Diego, our buddy, who is part of Midnight Touch Espanol, before I got to finish, sends in
God.
10 Peruvian souls.
Whatever, Tom.
There is a bloody B. You have to pronounce it.
exactly. See, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
not in English. Everything is dumb here. And there's shit that you don't pronounce that you're supposed to. Then they tell you some bullshit lies like I before E, except after C, except for after a W, and another letter or two that you don't know about. Like, they don't tell you all the rules. And then when you do figure out the rules, there's still like fucking asterisks next to all the rules.
It's
Like,
like
that's the problem with
40.
Exactly. Like unless you mean this on a Sunday after sundown, then it means this. And it's like, that's how the English language works. There's no like rhyme or reason to it. But no, to continue, he says, it's like how I argue, when Americans say Toms, how do you say that? Temis?
The thumbs.
We would
that-
say
that's
the
not-
Americans would say Thames, River Thames.
Yeah. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah, with the F sound instead of the T, respect the Queen's English. Fuck the Queen. I don't know this lady.
What do you think we are, British?
I listen to Queen. That's about it.
Yeah, that's as good as it'll get.
That's as
And
close
also-
as it'll get. Yeah.
Yeah. And also Jillian says, don't sweat it, Andre. Look at how we pronounce English in the US. I love how you say Dolph Lundgren. That's how the Swedish say it. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's how the Austrians say it. And that's how I say it.
Dolph Lundgren, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
Yeah, early. Oh, yeah.
You're getting there.
No, I just drank something, so my R's are
Yeah, I was just clearing my throat.
rolling.
One of these
the
days, I'll be able to
Yeah.
sing a song in Spanish, though.
And Paulus Plain, it's really on fire today, sent us another 50 Norwegian kroner saying, Andre, love you, man, dude. Well, thank you. I love you too, as I love you all. And with that, I believe we are fully
we
caught
got
up.
this
No,
one.
I take it back.
We missed this one. Mr. Tickletrunk, our wrench. sends in a super chat, says, English is a mutt language. It puts out easy. Well, that's just it. We're such a hodgepodge of different things, you know, like it's crazy.
Well,
and then
it comes from the English, as in like the British Isles being conquered by anyone who tried up to a certain point in history, and everyone brought their own language with them, and that way you get a hodgepodge.
Hey, Kimo. Hey, Kimo, what's calculus?
That's what I did in school. The teacher said, quit using a calculator.
Hey, what's calculus? Fingerman. I'm trying to
what is happening?
Preview next week.
Oh yes, that's right. How do I
What's happening? Undoomed. Sorry, bro.
How do I teach these keys?
It sounded dirty, but I like it.
Yeah, he made me think of the as thing. He's like, maybe later he'll think of you with his penis or finger you with his penis. Okay, yes. June 10th, we have a big, huge ass reunion happening.
Ginormous.
Like, if you thought our Blood In, Blood Out reunion was big, this is gigantic.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. That sounded funny as shit.
I know, I try, right?
Gigantic.
I can't speak a lick of Spanish, but I can sure sound like I got the accent, right?
Yeah, brother.
Welcome to the show. Anyway, no, we've got Edward Olmos coming in.
Edward James Olmos.
Edward James Olmos.
That's Mr. Olmos.
Mr. Olmos to me.
Yes.
And also, this has got me giddy as shit. I piddle every time I think about it. The one, the only Lou Diamond Phillips is going to be here.
Yeah.
Richie Valens is going to be here.
We got Undoomed. We have a stand and deliver reunion cast panel.
And other cast members that our good buddy Jeffrey Rivas also mentioned the other day. If you can want to rattle off some of those names, Paulie, real quick.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you guys remember the movie, again, you can watch it on Netflix right now, I believe, but try to see it again, guys.
I just bought it, and it's on Netflix. You tell me this now.
Listen. I'm talking to the chat. All right.
All right.
Try to see it before next week. The cast that is being reunited includes Danny Villarreal, who played Cuco, Lou Diamond's buddy, the other Cholo guy. He's fantastic in it. He will be there. A couple of Will Gauthier, who was kind of like the husky guy who always doubted himself. That student, a couple, like 3 of the students, Lupe, and the nerd Patrick Baca. I mean, it's pretty cool. And there also will be a memoriam for the cast member that had passed away a couple of years ago. Vanessa Marquez, who was the little geeky girl in it.
But she was a big part of the company that we're going to be doing once again, the LA
Latino Theater Company.
LA Latino Theater Company.
Yeah, her and Jeff were founding members. And she had a really bad passing a few years ago. So we'll do a little memoriam, and she was in the cast. But that Stand and Deliver inspired a lot of people. It's just such a good movie. And then he got nominated for an Academy Award as Best Actor.
Yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah. And who else? Oh, and Robert Meyer Burnett is going to be.
Yeah, he's going to be hosting. Yep.
And then Brandon Maxwell from the Daily Cella, who's kind of been sponsoring and really getting the word out to different communities that this is actually happening. This is actually a really big deal. A lot, you're not the only one piddling, because it's like I've seen like a Latino journalists and reviewers. They're gobsmacked that this is happening.
Well, yeah, and this is a long time coming. And Paulie,
I mean, this sounds awesome, man.
Well, and Paulie, you've done so much behind the scenes to get this done, and we cannot thank Jeffrey Rivas enough, even though he's not even in the movie.
He's
But-
not.
That needs to be said, but he has done so much to get this done that we can't thank him enough.
When you first started talking about this, I thought you were trolling me.
No, we're totally serious.
Yeah, and I realized when you were talking, like, Jesus Christ, that you're actually doing this.
No, yeah, and just like the Blood In, Blood Out reunion, which was a huge success. I imagine, guys, you never know who could stop by, so do show up, because even then, we had Dame Helen Mirren herself show up in the background, so that was amazing. So, like, you never know who's going to pop in. We ain't gonna make any promises,
and show up early to the stream, guys, because we're gonna kick it off with Mr. Almos.
Yeah, we're gonna try and give Edward Almos a bit of spotlight. I keep doing that. Sorry, Edward James Almos. I don't know why I even do that. I talk like I know him.
I mean, that's one of my absolute favorite actors.
And just for some reason, he's always been called that and stuff. Like, yeah, so to me, he's just always Eddie Almos from fucking Miami Vice. But anyway.
I think it is
Edward.
I think it is Eddie on his IMDb page.
I used to be. That's why I was always used to calling him that. And I apologize, Paulie. It's not out of disrespect at all. It's just that's the way I always knew him as an actor.
Oh no, okay. I mean,
but like,
I just was like, because we were just emailing with the assistant.
No, I know, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not trying to act like I already know the guy or nothing. It's just always the way he was billed early on. So like, that's how I first knew him. But yeah. We're going to try and give him a little bit of time, and then I think we're going to bring in Lou and then the rest of the cast over.
Right.
So we can make sure
they all got their little call times, but like, so the first hour for anyone that's in the chat, Eddie Almos, Lou Diamond, just with us, and then we're going to bring in the cast members in one by one.
Yeah.
And we want to kick ass because we want him to come back so we could just talk about Blade Runner, just talk about Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
Battlestar Galactica, for fuck's sake. Adama. Oh my God, it's my favorite character ever.
Yeah, he's so good in that.
And then,
oh my God.
Then hopefully we can talk Lou into coming back for a little bit.
I mean, Lou, what a career Lou Diamond is. I mean, both these gentlemen.
Yeah.
And people don't even realize I'm such a huge fan of him and Bats. Like, I have a story to tell him. I'm going to tell him that story. That's my moment I'm going to take. And then that's it.
Do what you got to do, man.
I mean, I'm going to tell him, like, I love La Bamba and all that shit and Young Guns, but like, I drove like almost 4 hours to go see Bats in a theater because it wasn't showing anywhere near here. And then when the DVD came out, I did the same thing. I had to drive all over hell to find the damn DVD. Yeah.
You guys remember a movie called Wolfen?
Oh, yes.
Sounds familiar.
He was
yeah, from 1981.
I remember the name, but I don't remember the movie.
But anyway, I'm sure nobody remembers the movie Bats, but he's in Bats.
I mean, everyone is signing is really going off on their favorite Lou Diamond and Eddie Almos in the chat. That's just great, man. We're so happy that you guys are excited about this.
Yeah, he's also in Longmire, and of course, like there's
yeah. Longmire was great.
Lou Diamond
remember a
Phillips
movie called
Edward James Almos? I mean, they
remember a movie called First Power?
Oh, I think so. I think I know the one you're talking about.
Lou Diamond was like a cop.
Yeah.
Going after a serial killer.
Is that what it was called? First Power?
Yeah, and it was like his first movie, like right after La Bamba, right after Young Guns. He was like the lead. That's a good little film.
Being called that though.
Yeah, look at it in the chat. First Power. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I just for some reason I don't remember that being the title, but
all right, well.
No, I believe you. I just saying. I know I've seen it like on cable way back in the day. Yeah.
Right.
So exciting, man. So yeah, next Thursday on noon on this channel. All
right, and that's noon Pacific time, right?
Noon Pacific, my friends.
Yeah, to be
so that's like next week.
Next
week.
Yeah, next week, and the stream is already up, so there you can see exactly when it is.
Right, sir. Yeah, that's correct, Andre. He already created the show link for it, so people can go hit your alert. You can set a reminder, right? It can
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that is something amazing.
Anthony, that would be insane.
That's what I'm going to be looking forward to.
To do a Young Guns reunion would be a lovely long-term goal. That would be an awesome long-term.
So who would? So it's Kiefer.
Yeah, Kiefer, Emilio,
Lou.
You could probably even get Tiger Blood. if he's not busy.
Who else was there? The
Charlie was in it. The original, the second one, because the second one had even more. But I would go with the main cast from the original. Would be those guys mainly, and then what's his face? I can't think of the other guy. The guy that always picked on him and called him Chavez. I can't think of the name of the actor.
God, now that's a movie I haven't seen in years. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Winning.
Oh my god.
Bon Jovi was in the second one. Yes, he was.
He was indeed, but with that,
C. Thomas Howell, was he in the first or second? I can't remember.
C. Thomas Howell.
I don't know if he was or not.
Whatever happened to him?
Dermot Mulroney. Yes,
that's who I was thinking of. Steven. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, at least those 4 or 5 guys, I would say you have to get. But yeah,
C. Thomas, man, he was like the it kid in like the mid '80s.
It seemed like he had a bright future, and he disappeared. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a lot of those kind of guys.
I think after Soul Man, that might have killed it.
That did not help his career. He might still be acting in television or something for all we know. I just haven't.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, he might be.
Yeah, and like Christian brings up, we are supposed to be getting Young Guns 3. Yeah.
And also on a completely
the geriatric years?
Yeah.
Oh, Hitchhiker. That's a great movie. Seema Thomasow and Rutger Hauer. Andre?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You guys remember that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, obviously. On a different note, John Fidel says Netflix will acquire Paramount and will combine subscribers with Netflix and use Netflix as international distributor.
You may be right, but replace that with Amazon. Maybe that's what I thought.
Is that something that you know, or is it something that you speculate?
I would think that's more of a speculation. I don't know if Netflix would want Paramount. That's the thing. Maybe. I was just so surprised that Amazon didn't make a play for Paramount. I really thought that was in the cards. I really kind of thought that's what they were going to do.
Casey Shamashko. Casey. He was in Young Guns.
All right. So if we're caught up on super chats, then I think we should get the hell out of here because I'm fucking starved and we've held on to Undoomed for almost 4 hours now. And considering we didn't have a shit ton to talk about, we managed to talk about it for 4 hours.
Well, it's always a pleasure.
That's how we roll. With that, it is time for the one, the only Koalas in the Rain.
Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koalas